Thank you.
Hello and welcome to The Politics Social with me and Mike Dix of Trumpton fame, and also with Mikey Famine all the way, a couple of Mikeys tonight, all the way from Chicago in America. How you doing, Mikey? You okay?
Yeah, man, it's an invasion.
It's an
Just
invasion.
Be ready. The mics are taking over. We let you guys.
No.
We had a nice
Taking
run
over
in
the
the
mics.
80s. We had a nice run in the 80s, and guess what, baby? We're back.
Yeah.
We're back.
Were there lots of mics in the 80s? Was that a good time to be a Mike?
Mike Jordan, Mike Tyson,
Michael Jackson, not so
Michael
great.
Jackson.
Well, I guess in the 80s people didn't know.
We don't talk about Michael Jackson anymore, obviously, but
No.
Hey.
But we're still talking about Oasis for some reason, which we should come on to at some point, because
I didn't even know they were British.
They're worse than British, mate. They're Mancunian. They're from Manchester. Yeah. So
That like the South? Is Manchester like the South for you guys? Like the little shameful bit that you don't like to mention?
For me, I live in Durham, which is even further north than Manchester. So they call themselves the Northerners, whereas I'm like I'm like 2 hours north of them. And then the Scottish people look down on England and go, no, you're not Northern. None of you are Northern. Shut up. Stop being
Mikey, did you mean like the south of America?
Yeah, like which one of your little counties is Florida? You know, like
Buckinghamshire, maybe. Is it Kent?
Cornwall.
Cornwall.
It's really poor, but they keep voting Tory. There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds like I saw a thing
that's
today.
Alabama.
It was like the poorest 10 states in America, and all but one of them were Republican states. You'd think they'd learn at some point. Hey, maybe if we voted for the other guys, we might get some stuff. They might give us some stuff. You know,
it's almost like they keep pulling us back every time we take one step forward. What is that?
Indeed.
I don't know. Free markets, baby. That's what that is.
Capitalism 101.
Grinding you up.
You got to vote for the American dream. One day you may be a millionaire.
The American nightmare. The American nightmare. So, talking of American nightmares, Trump, you heard he's just had his sentence commuted. No, not a stroke. No, he's had his sentencing put on hold for another couple of months. Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing? I've heard both sides of this. He said, if he got put in jail, then that would rile up his supporters.
Which case? The New York case?
Yeah, the New York case.
Right.
Well, that one was probably going to be fines anyway. I don't think he was going to get any prison time on that stuff. That was going to be mostly fines, and then maybe like some probation or something like that. But they'll probably, hand wave that shit. But I want them to stop trying to save this motherfucker money, dude. Like everyone keeps trying. Remember, he had to for the Eugene Carroll thing, and he had to like borrow from people to do all the. Dry his ass up because he talks too much.
He does. And apparently, he's lost a lot of money on his Truth Social stocks. His stock price have depreciated something like 70 or 75% since then.
The thing is, he hasn't really, though. That's what's annoying about it. He can cash it in 2 weeks' time or something. Is that right? Or a week's time? Like there's a point where he's not been able to sell his shares, and now he's. Right. I think in a week's time he's able to sell those shares, but he never paid any money for those shares. So it doesn't matter what price they are. He's going to rake in like $1 billion or $1.5 billion, basically, out of MAGA fans. It's the MAGA fans that are going to lose out because they were buying them at $29 a share.
What idiots!
Down to like 17.
A fool and his money will soon be parted. It's just why do you guys pay for that?
It's like a meme stock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The value of it went up after his assassination attempt. Went horribly wrong.
Yeah. After it failed.
Yeah.
The right word for it. The failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so we've just had that news come in. There's been another horrific shooting in America in a school. Mm-hmm. And again, the same memes go out, the same
thoughts and prayers
things go out, thoughts and prayers. Why does this keep happening? Ask country, in which is the only country where this happens on a regular basis.
Could we have seen this coming?
Also, if you got any stocks and shares in the good old gun industry, then your share price has gone up this week.
Oh, Congress! Yeah, well, I don't know if Congress is listening, but they'll catch it on the replay.
Yeah. So yeah, and in Georgia. But what's kind of interesting about it is the dad of the kid who did it. It's a 14-year-old lad who did it. The dad of the kid has been he's been pulled up in front of the court as well, and he could face up to something like 180 years in jail because he bought his son the gun knowing that his son was a nutter.
Oh, let's take it back even further. The GBI, which is like the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, brought him and the kid into the station to have a little chit chat because the kid had some weird like Russian name for like another mass shooter or whatever on a Discord server talking about shooting up schools, and that like they brought him in for questioning. The dad knew. He's like, "Oh, I would never do that." And the kid's like, "I don't know what that is, dude. I don't know what I said. I didn't say that." And everyone just let him go. So that's before. That's 6 months before he buys the gun for the kid for fucking Christmas. For Christmas. So you get dragged into the station for posting shit on the internet. So then for Christmas, I thank you, my son, by buying you an AR.
Yeah. Yeah. Welcome to America, Mikey.
These are Trump voters that you guys want me to meet in the middle. Suck my ass. No, hey, I'm not doing it.
Who wants you to meet them in the middle?
Everybody always talks about, we have to, talk to your. I'm not Mikey, talking to these fucking Mikey.
We're not encouraging you to meet any of them.
Just avoid
them. Avoid them all.
Them. Like the plague, or like the plague carrying an AR-15.
Right. Yeah. That fires the plague.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus.
On the Rest is Politics USA, they were saying that they'd been thinking it's been a long time since we had a school shooting, and then it suddenly dawned on them that school only started this week. So obviously, on the first day back, we're bound to have one, aren't we? So.
Yep. It really puts into my head that this kind of like agrarian, half at home, half in the office kind of way of living just to keep my child out of public school might be the way to go. Because there is literally no...
Put the kids to work.
Well, there's no
labor like child labor. That's what I always say.
There's no plan to do anything to keep the kids safer, right? And the bit of technology that they did use, like on the teachers' lanyards, they have like a panic button. So they got like 25 panic button alerts in like, you know what I'm saying, in like 5 seconds. So that scrambled the nearby cops, and they got there in 5 minutes. So we shouldn't need this shit though.
No, I mean, that's been the discussion. It's just amazing to listen to it in the States, where they start going immediately into, well, what about the security arrangements? Well, they're security guards. Did the kids have training on hiding under the desk? And you go, no, fuck it. You're not supposed to. That's not what you're supposed to know when you go to school. You're supposed to, have I got my books and my packed lunch? That's all you should be worried about, basically.
Does Jessica like me or like me?
Exactly. Or is Jessica dead next to me because some idiots come in and
Can I use Jessica's body to stop the incoming fire? Like that's... And if you guys go and look, there's tons of like local like news affiliates, because they went out there on the scene. And here's the worst part of it all. Like the worst part of it all. And me and my wife almost had a tear on this one. The kids are recounting it like, oh, he tried our door, but the teacher had already got there and she locked it. And then I think, I heard them next door, and we heard the noises, and we thought it was a locker slamming. Like the calmness of their voice, like kid next classroom over just got blown away, and they're just talking about it as if they're trying to remember what happened last time. You remember that episode of The Office? Like, no, but how did they get to the festival? Like, that's the way she's telling the story. She's not worried. Her voice isn't shaking. She was like, oh, I was a little scared, but I'm okay now. They're used to it. How fucking dare you let our kids get used to it? Yeah. That's what war-torn kids do. That is PTSD. She should be very upset right now, and she's not. And I mourn her innocence. I mourn that, along with the people that are gone. But they're not even scared to die anymore.
They've got to be sacrificed to the gods, haven't they? The military industrial complex.
The gods of cult and Magnum.
Well, the late stage capitalism. I mean, they make guns. They have massacres. More people buy guns. More people buy more guns every time there's a massacre. If you have stocks and shares in gun companies, your stock price will rise as a result of children having their brains splattered all over a wall. And that's the reality. That's a sick reality at the heart of modern America.
Put metal detectors in every single school now.
But
Or
Mikey,
my kid's not going.
And I'm genuinely not expecting you to solve this, Mikey, right? Because I don't think anybody in America can. But what is it going to take? You know, like in Australia, there was that mass shooting, and they did a gun amnesty and even tax breaks for bringing your guns into the government. The government.
The Port Arthur massacre.
And
in the UK, we got rid of handguns after a significant event, and in America, it's just event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the.
But
Columbine was 25 years ago, guys. 25 years ago.
And
but
this
that
was
happens
the 40,
on a local.
This
but
was
that happens
the 45th. Sorry, Mikey. This was the 45th school shooting this year. Wow. This year, the 45th mass shooting in a school in America.
Have we even had 45 weeks yet this year?
No,
there's some 2 a week. Yeah, exactly. And you know, like totally the wrong reaction. But we have a lunatic runs into a Taylor Swift class and stabs people, and there at least. You know, I'm not at all condoning those riots, but there were riots because of that, all for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
But everybody just shrugs their shoulders in the States and go, oh, it was their turn this week.
I did reach out to Wayne. Everybody loves Wayne. And I'm like, hey, man, watch what happens to the people that are doing the rioting. Because if they all get away scot-free, you should be very careful.
Oh, no,
but you got, hey, yo, shout out to y'all because we are not playing that shit. And when 6 of them assholes got off the bus and there was 300 motherfuckers waiting on them, I was like, yeah. What's up now, baby?
I mean, one of them got 9 years today. One of them got locked away for 9 years.
And you prosecuted them. That's what needs to happen. They need to get prosecuted so that they see, oh shit, this is not a joke. Even the climate people were like, all right, let me not block the road this week. We'll do something else, y'all. Think of something else because we ain't trying to get locked up. You got it.
We're locking up people that are encouraging it on Twitter and Facebook. You know,
but not Nigel Farage yet.
Well, but I don't know if you noticed, but British Twitter has got a lot quieter about this sort of stuff. You know, the small boat thing that happened this week.
I've not noticed. I've not been on Twitter because I left it. I haven't been on it for a couple of weeks now.
It's always funny in the aftermath after all these like chaotic events. It's always funny with the right wing on doesn't matter which side of the pond you're on. They all get a little quiet. They all stop posting so loudly. They all kind of go back and lick their wounds for a couple of days to try to reassess how they can come after women and human beings of all ilks to just attack them for no reason. They have to go back and find a new plan because the last one just that should have worked. It should have worked. Yeah, well, it won't. And
why are there still women?
And why don't they all love me?
Yeah. Thank you to Ivan Ambrose for the first super chat of the night. Thank you, Ivan. That's really kind of you. The judge in the state of Georgia in the first court appearance wrongly said the death penalty could be applied. He forgot the defendant is under 18 and so had to call the defendant again. What an error from the judge. I mean, it's a bit trigger happy, that, isn't it? Like, we're totally going to kill you. It's like, no, you got to wait like 4 years and then I have to commit the crime again.
I think he's being tried as an adult, so he'll minimum get like 4 consecutive life sentences. So
yeah, which you have in America. We don't have that over here. We have concurrent sometimes. That's about it. We don't have sentences of 180 years.
Oh, you're not getting out.
They're a bit daft.
Our healthcare is not as good. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what they got in the jails, but 500 years, God,
500-year sentences. That's what I want to see Donald Trump get. But
no, the
no.
irony of him being treated as an adult is that if they treat him as a kid and just send him back to school, he's likely to get killed anyway. So that's great. Right. There's your death sentence is to go to school.
So the thing is, his life is now more guaranteed than the rest of his classmates.
Yeah, safer.
Wow.
In prison, he's safer than the rest of his classmates.
That can't be true. You can't be safer in prison in America than you are in a school. That would be.
There's less guns.
Well, I don't think you're getting shot in prison.
So. Yeah, but you can get shanked, can't you? I mean, sharpened toothbrush and all that jazz.
You seem to know a lot about this, Graham.
I might. I don't.
How does this work, Graham? Where do you
hide
these?
What do we do next? What do we do next, Graham?
Hey, listen, I'm in the process of trying to get my American visa. I was just going to take about 6 months, so I probably shouldn't talk about or even make jokes about this kind of thing, just in case they're watching. Hi, American Embassy.
Graham, you're white, as if they're even gonna look.
Yeah, I asked if I could have a
you're a redhead. They'll think you're from
interview waiver because I've got no criminal record. I've never overstayed a visa in my life. I've never been ejected from a country in my life, and I've been to all of them. They said no.
Have you written a book about that? Have you written a book about that?
Yeah, I've written a book.
What's it called?
It's called Man of the World. Hang on, I've got one over here.
Have you travelled? I don't know about this. Cozy, has he travelled places? Or...
Apparently, yeah, he's been to a few countries.
That's nice.
A whole bunch of them, he said.
He's written a book about his holidays. Isn't that nice?
It's lovely. It's got.
Is it like a cookbook?
Without flying as well.
The recipes from around the world.
I've also written a cookbook, but that's a Brexit cookbook. It's how to cook sparrows and rats and pigeons and things. But no, that's a separate book to that. That's the Great Brexit Cookbook, if you want it.
How to start a 55-gallon drum on fire. How to get the fingers out of your gloves.
I didn't realize it was a book plugging episode. I must get one of them.
No, I mean, if you're going to mention it, then you may as well, eh?
Like that. I haven't even got one of mine with me.
No.
Look, here you go. Look, I have actually got one. That's still available.
Nice. Really
Mr.
cute.
Trump. Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump goes to Washington when I still thought it was cute.
The book of Brexit testimony is not as fun as the cookbook.
Cozy, are you going to the National Rejoin March in a couple of weeks down in London? No. Okay. Just asking.
I'm not a British citizen.
Me neither.
I can't get, if I get arrested because I went to some protest, my settled status can be taken away. So no.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, darlings. This one's on you.
All right.
I did what I could to get, that second referendum and reverse it, but now it's done. I'm gonna have to do a slightly.
Okay. Well, I'll get in trouble for you. So I'm speaking at the National Rejoin March in a couple of weeks' time. At the end of
please speak loudly. By all means, give a name check to In Limbo if you have it.
Yeah. That's worth doing. I've got In Limbo and then Limbo too, but they're in my normal room that I'm normally in.
I'm just not prepared to put my boots on the ground at this point in time. I also think. Enough.
I'm in the basement with my books. You see, I keep everyone's good books upstairs, but I keep mine in the dingy basement. At the moment.
Where they belong.
We need to first get behind PR and a written constitution before we can talk about joining. And my issues with the word rejoin, so we don't need to get into that.
The Michael in the chat, not Mike or Mikey.
Michael, it's the Mike show. Yes,
Michael Club. Yeah.
Have we got enough mics here?
Michael Schwartz has
welcome
dropped,
to Mike Check.
Has dropped €10. Thank you. We always love getting euros into the super chat fund.
Michael.
Trump will never go to jail. He will go to office because of the Supreme Court. I agree. I keep getting told off. I keep getting told off for saying this, but even if he loses, he wins. It's as simple as that. Because he's got the Supreme Court and they decide what's legal. You can understand. It doesn't matter they've got 250 years of, laws, court judgments, precedents, legislation. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Hey, Graham, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And if there's one thing the criminal justice system is good at, is grinding the hardest stones into powder.
Oh, really?
Listen, so when he has to show up to all of his court dates every time, every morning, and then they start putting them in New York and Florida and all that stuff. And then if he misses them and tries to do his he needs to behave like a normal citizen during this time. That's going to be a struggle for him. So he's not out of the woods yet. he can still fuck this up for him. Notice he shut his fucking mouth about everybody during the trials, right? Like he stopped running his mouth because he started getting punished. He is listening. That's why he's all gibber gabbering, because he got to leave the state. But he was stuck in New York for a while.
Yeah, but once he's in charge, that doesn't matter. Like, everything goes away. They're saying, "Oh, but this is a state case, so he'll still have to go." He won't. He'll just get his lawyer, his judge mates. He's got 6 members of the Supreme Court in his pocket. He's got literally hundreds of judges around the country, and they decide what the law is. They are the law, as Judge Dredd once used to say.
But he's got to do this hopscotch until November. He's got to make it.
No, he doesn't. You know that's what I'm saying. He can lose and he'll still win.
No, that's what I think we're talking past each other a little bit here. Okay. He has to navigate all this and still have his election. He's still like, MAGA is only 20%.
No, it's not. Yes, he's getting 46, 47% of the vote.
No, but the MAGA bit, the base.
You've got to be MAGA to vote for him.
He can still lose the Republicans.
You've met a sane person who votes for Trump.
I don't think you do have. I don't think you have to be MAGA to vote for Trump, and I do know some sane people that voted for him in the first time round. You know, brainwashed and dumb. But
you just said brainwashed and dumb.
Well,
yeah,
but not
think that they're sane.
Yeah, but not work sometimes.
You know?
It's like, come and look after my children. Oh, I'm actually brainwashed and a bit dumb. Okay, stop there. You're not looking after my children or my country.
Here's a stat that came out this week that, and I've been saying this for a while, that I think the election when Kamala took over from Biden, it sort of turned into a men against women election, to go male against female to an extent. And they're under 25s, I think, males and females. There's a 51-point gap between them now, 51% gap.
Yeah.
Women voting Kamala and girls, and young men increasingly voting for Trump now that Kamala's in the race.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, even MAGA. If he loses the election, he will still win the election.
Yeah, well, I think his aim is to win on January the 6th again, isn't it?
Yes. So, yeah, that's exactly his plan. You can see it.
They're not gonna let it. Okay, we'll see.
He's not watching what he says. He's not skating on ice. He's saying whatever daft thought comes into his head.
He was already in power the first time. You know what I mean? Yes. He was already in there. So that's why it became this whole big thing, because he had the infrastructure in place.
So who was the president when the Supreme Court put George W. Bush in place? Was it a Republican? No, it was a Democrat. Weak, lily-livered Democrat who wouldn't do what needed to be done and tell the Supreme Court to fuck off. And that you're going to get exactly the same thing happening this time. What's going on with Cozy? She's just sort of...
I fiddled about to try and... Right, hang on. Let me show you.
We're getting the tour of the Airbnb in Paris.
Nice view of the Eiffel Tower.
That's the Eiffel Tower. So you're in Paris for the Paralympics.
Oh, wow.
That's very cool.
But what's happened is I can't seem to get my camera to flick back.
There you are. Hello.
There you go.
Cool. So here I am again.
Nothing for it. Got to climb the tower.
Maybe we should have explained where you were, Cozy, when you joined a conversation about murdering children in a classroom wearing a quite inappropriate hat for that moment.
I didn't know that the conversation was about that, which is why I took the hat off. But I thought, while you're chatting away, and hopefully I'm not necessarily fully
nobody's going to point
it out. What's that called? It's a Phrygian hat, but it does look like a clitoris.
No, it's a Phrygian. Phrygian is an ancient Greek district, and the Phrygian hats were what the commoners wore during the time of the revolution.
And Smurfs.
And Smurfs, of course.
Do you know there's 5 national flags that have a hidden Phrygian hat in the design of the flag?
Really? You would know.
Yeah.
How did you find that out?
I drew them all. I drew them all for a project I was doing, so I had to draw every single flag, and I just remarked at how many flags there are. In Haiti, it's on a stick. The flag of Nicaragua, I think, it's floating in the air above a rainbow, and there's all light coming out of it. Honestly, look very closely at the flag of Nicaragua, and you'll be like, "What the hell?"
And they're fridges, not tricorne.
Sorry,
or whatever it's called. Try the tricorn.
The tricorn hat. No, I don't think that appears on any flags. Lesotho's got a flag. Got a flag. Lesotho, has that got a hat? I think it's got a hat on its flag as well.
I think it cool. What can I say? Because the athletes and delegates from Lesotho always wear their funky hats, and they're really cool. Love one another.
Very, very cool. We missed the chat from Punninator. Sorry, we were gabbling away there. Thank you very much for that, Punninator. Graham talking about how to survive prison life makes me think he's about to teach us how to drop the soap. At least wait for Scott if you do. You don't have to teach you how to drop the soap. It's just, if you are going to drop the soap, I don't know, have some amyl nitrate on hand. That's my advice. Super Tiny saying in 2000 AD, the sugar is illegal. And Dread is judge, jury, and executor Shona. He rides a motorbike with car tyres and wears a positively sexy helmet. Well, there you go. Ivan, I don't want to read this one because I know it's going to start an argument. Ivan wants to know what's wrong with saying rejoin. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think it's wrong. But
Here we go.
To think it's wrong. But I'm curious for the perspective.
Cozy.
Go on, Cozy. Go on. Tell
us. The reason I don't like the be before the join is because for a very small minority of people, it creates an expectation of joining on the previous terms and conditions, which you can't, because the UK had lots of exemptions and opt-outs. If the UK wants to join the EU and become a member again, then the UK has to fulfill the joining criteria like any other country that wants to join. So if any other country tomorrow decided they want to join the UK, the EU, they're going to need to fulfill certain criteria, one of which is a written constitution. Another is proportional representation.
Have they not heard it? Have they not heard of the Magna Carta? Is that not? No, all right. Sorry.
Magna Carta is not a written constitution.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. It allows us to march our geese across the London Bridge
and go to the pub during a pandemic. Yeah, anyway, okay. So that was a party political forecast from the Cozy Party. Thank you very much for that, Cozy.
It's just, to me, it smacks of exceptionalism and because, like I say, there are people who genuinely think that, you know, we Brits are special and therefore we should have special conditions. And I'm sorry, no. The EU is a
Cozy. I honestly believe that people who went on those marches and people who really, really want us to be part of the EU again, I don't think they're sitting there going, "Wow, we're the best." I think they're sitting there going, "Oh my God, what's happened to this country? Please let me out of here."
And from my followers on Twitter, who are largely, you know, ardent Remainers and largely clued up, and anybody, so I surveyed this after I had the argument with many rejoiners. I asked, you know, do you think the UK should be allowed to join the EU on the previous terms and conditions? And 10% of people said yes. 10% is a significant minority. So yes, 10. There are those people. And even amongst my
Are you serious? So 90% said, "Nah, it's all right. We'll take whatever we can get."
Like I said, most of them understand that the UK has to fulfill the criteria.
So who are you catering to here by changing the name and making it confusing?
I had already blocked those that had told me that kind of crap.
Okay, so
my sample was already, you know, leaning towards.
Okay, honestly, Cozy, I really don't get this. Well, I understand what your point is because you just made it, but like for the sake of a minority who you've blocked on Twitter, you don't want to give them the satisfaction of imagining a world in which we go back into the EU on the same things as before when that's not going to happen.
The people I blocked are not ones that were surveyed. So this is after I'd blocked people.
Okay. And it was 10%.
Yes, and
Who cares? Who cares about the 10%? Okay.
Look, if, like you said, you want to join the EU, you want the UK to join the EU.
I want to rejoin the EU because I was part of it.
Make sure that the people who agree with you understand that if you want to join the EU, you have to fulfill the criteria.
I'll tell them. I'll tell them that.
Thanks, Graham.
Yeah.
That's all I ask. It's not complicated.
There's your speech sorted, Graham.
Thank you for the... Yeah, but also, Cozy, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be in Liverpool for the Labour Party conference. So if you want to come along, we're going to be at the.
I'll probably join you. See, I'll join you for that, because that's the other thing. I just haven't got the energy to travel, mate. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Well, if you come to Dale Street, you come to the Ship and Mitre at 7:30 on the Monday, which is Monday the 23rd. Me and some of the people from National Rejoin March, and maybe Femi and Mike Galsworthy, they haven't confirmed yet, might be, will be there, and we'll be doing a panel called All Roads Lead to Europe.
Oh, that sounds good. I like that.
And you can have it out with the National Rejoin March party that's telling that they should be called the NJM rather than the MR. Anyway, Michael, another super chat from Michael. Thank you. Austria voting on Sunday.
Can I just come back to the joining thing? Because, you know...
Can I read the super chat first? What's up?
All right, go through the super chat first.
Mikey's sitting there going, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Michael, thank you very much for the super chat. Austria voting on Sunday, the 29th. Everyone is free. Got a reminder 3 weeks before. You on the roll without asking. They ask you and want an away vote, better voting system. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the way you should do it. It should be proactive rather than reactive. Anyway, sorry, Cozy, yes. Do you want to finish off?
Yeah, well, I mean, what I find quite painful to acknowledge is actually that human rights don't even factor in there. Like, I love the EU to refuse to let a country join that actively violates human rights. But they had no problem with the UK violating human rights since 2012. And they had no problem with signing the withdrawal agreement that facilitates some human rights abuses. So,
well, do you want to rejoin or join? Do you actually want to go back in the EU?
I would love the UK to join the EU, but only if it subscribes to the EU's values and rules.
George, thank you very much for the super chat, George. Is suggesting, how about sorry, pardon me. How about on leave?
What's wrong with join?
Because join what? You've got to explain more. If you say rejoin, everyone's going to know that you mean rejoin the EU, especially if you make the hour circle of stars.
What do you?
It's branding, advertising. Don Draper will be all over this.
What do you guys call people who cross picket lines?
Scabs.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
Well, what?
You want in the union. But see, you've left. You've crossed through the picket line, and now you're scabs. Trying to get into the.
That's probably what most of Europe thinks of us. Definitely.
I like your thought, Mikey.
Hey, Mikey, just to bring you into this conversation, I watched a documentary.
I've never met Mikey before, by the way.
Because I'm super sad. I watched a documentary about Abraham Lincoln the other day.
Oh boy.
And I genuinely hadn't realized
I live in the land of Lincoln.
At the time of Lincoln, he was pretty much dealing with the same problem. Like a lot of the speeches about states being independent and not joining the union, etc. It's almost exactly the same arguments were being made about us joining the EU. Farage would have had a field day in the Confederacy.
Interesting.
There are lots of people talking about the economic problems of having control over your state from a federal government. They said.
If Lincoln could have kept the Union together and let the slaves stay in the South, he would have. But the rest of the Union wasn't going for it. I live in Illinois. This is the land of Lincoln. He's got all his statues and memorials and all that shit. But at the end of the day, all those motherfuckers from that time period are all garbage. There isn't one redeeming quality in one of them. They're all bad. Every single one of you watching this stream right now is smarter. You're more educated. You're cleaner, and you think better of people than those people ever did. So, yeah.
I've got to say that wasn't the theme of the documentary I watched, but I can definitely pick out what you're saying from that.
He did things that were beneficial to America and things that were good for America, but not necessarily good for its citizens.
Yeah.
So
regarded as one of the best.
Yeah, and then in this historical lens, he gets painted as like this giant, this orator, and this mammoth.
And regarded
virtue.
as an orator and a great speech writer and great speeches, but actually was renowned for just rambling on about nothing for ages with people for hours, very much like Trump.
Like Trump.
He would just talk garbage to people for hours, and they couldn't get out of the White House.
The Reagan had a literal campaign that was "Make America Great Again." This is all a redo. This is the posters and everything. Like, this is all a redo. But the Republicans are gone, and this MAGA group of idiots is so stupid they don't even know that this is, you know, DLC from the previous game. Like, they don't even know. They think it's brand new, and he just thought of all this. He's like, yeah, make it great again. Hey, dumbass, you were alive in the 80s. Why don't you remember this? Oh, because you were busy not raising your kids. You were just letting them play with lawn darts in the backyard.
And also, I think they were taking lots of drugs. I do blame cocaine for everything. That's, you know, crack and cocaine for literally everything that society faces right now.
Thanks, Republicans.
Right, kids, I just saw the time, so I've got to tell you.
Oh, you're an hour ahead, aren't you?
I'm an hour ahead, and I'm so shattered. I actually got sent home from my shift yesterday, and we missed the sparkle, which is annoying, but there you go. So
the sparkle, was that an 11?
Oh, on the Eiffel Tower. We can see it behind you, Cozy.
Every hour, the Eiffel Tower sparkles with lots of lights.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Do you want to give us a quick report on the Paralympics? How's it going?
Before you go.
So I've had a few tickets. It's brilliant. The atmosphere is amazing. The atmosphere in the Arena Champ de Mars, where the wheelchair rugby was just spectacular. Such a cool venue. My role this time round was in the Cécifoot, the blind football, which again is just so cool. So tomorrow is the the two final matches. So the bronze medal match is Colombia and Brazil must have lost for the first time yesterday because apparently they were undefeated. And the final is France versus Argentina.
Wow.
And that's, I think, going to be amazing. Then what else have I seen? I was in the stadium on Monday where I saw some of the athletics, and again, amazing atmosphere and amazing sports. So many world records. But I mean, you know, they bang a big bell when they break a world record. There must have been 4 or 5.
Wow.
Damn.
So, and not only that, I think something I always look out for is whether the athletes have reached a personal best or a season's best. And there were lots, you know, season's best, personal best, which is really lovely to see, because if you're not getting a gold or silver or whatever, if you're achieving a personal best, then I'd say that's just as meaningful. What else have I seen? I've been to the archery. Oh my God, that's such a lovely venue. Just the space is amazing. And there's an Australian archer. I think he...
Legolas.
What's his name again? He's really colorful. He's got like bright yellow hair, and he wears a hat with a big feather, and he's just such a character.
Robin Hood?
Well, this
an archer with a William Tell.
It is a Robin Hood style. So you've got to look him up. I think his first name is Taman, and his surname is Double Barrels something Smith. I can't remember. But he's such a showman, and he really got the crowd engaged. And he only got 4th, but he was so humble with his fellow competitors. He was showing them so much love and respect. And he really won the moral victory, because everybody applauded more for him than for anybody else. He really got like into the crowd's hearts, which was really lovely to see.
He's the Mikey of the Paralympics. 4th place in the loudest crowd. You know what I mean? Like, that's my life, dude. 4th place in loud crowds.
Oh dear. So anyway, Mikey, who the hell are you anyway?
I don't know. What's up?
You're obviously in that there USA and in Illinois.
Yeah.
Mikey's part of the Bing crew. He does the Bing podcast with Wayne and Brenna.
Cool.
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Mikey. My name's Cozy, and I'm mates with
Who
Graham.
the hell are you? Is that a thing that you guys say?
Yeah. Who the hell are you? What are you doing talking?
It's a sort of pleasantry. We walk down the street and say that to people all the time.
Before you go, Cozy, we've got a message from Ivan.
Hello, Ivan.
Ivan says, Cozy, thank you for your response and insight into my question. It's much appreciated. So thanks for that, Ivan. You're a lovely guy.
I know that most people who want to rejoin understand that it means meeting the criteria. So I'm not I'm not going to die on that hill, if you know what I mean.
And Michael, €5 super chat. What rejoin? Why shouldn't voting on a free day be a thing for being in the EU?
Like a trial?
Voting on what?
Voting on a free day be a thing for being in the EU. I don't really understand.
I don't understand.
I think saying like we should have a day off maybe to vote, which I always think should be good. Anyway, right, okay.
That's what I want to hear from the next president. The next president, I want them to, if you're not enshrining election day as a federal holiday so everybody can have it off so that they can actually participate in the so-called democratic republic that we live in, then what is the point? When you can literally just make everybody so hungry and desperate that they'll skip voting to eat.
Yes, couldn't agree more. Anyway, Cozy, we'll let you go since you've got to get some sleep. So you're working tomorrow?
No.
I'll have a lie-in then.
It's a volunteer party tomorrow night, and I've got a ticket to the last leg on Sunday night.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And I'm absolutely shattered. I fell asleep on the sofa before and woke up to the dog trying to hump me.
Hate it.
Oh, you know, swings and roundabouts.
Oh, happy note. Say bye-bye, Fish.
Bye-bye.
Can't rain every day.
Bonsoir.
See you back in the UK. Bye, kids.
Cozy.
So, I was going to say, should we go back to the States a little bit? Because obviously we've got Mikey here.
Cool.
And it's, what time is it over there? It's like 5 o'clock or something?
4:15.
Okay. And so we talked a little bit at the beginning about the shooting that happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything feel different this time, or is it just Groundhog Day over there? Like, did the news report it in a different way? Was Fox News shocked? I mean, was there anything that felt like, oh well, actually maybe the dial is moving a little bit towards maybe we should have some kind of restrictions on guns instead of just giving that to every nutter?
No, but as far as the journalism goes, it was. I don't know how the local affiliate down there got a hold of that. Like, they must have FOIA'd it, like the Freedom of Information Act, but they got the cop's body cam from that conversation the dad and the kid had. Like, they got that, like, within like in a day and a half, they had it. I was like, damn. Okay, they ain't fucking around on this one. Okay, they actually looked into something and actually got. Maybe the police department gave it up. Maybe the dad gave it up. I don't know. That's the only thing that's, unfortunately, that's the only thing that's different in this one is that there seems to be a higher level of accountability and a level of, no, we're not doing this shit again this time.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But it's Georgia. Georgia has open carry.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that means if you have a pistol, you can walk around with it. Just can't. I mean, and the whole point of it is
like the Wild West days, except you already got 6 shots in them. Okay.
Yeah, but you can do that with a Glock with 21.
A Beretta.
Or, full or a semi-automatic with 21 bullets in it. Like,
are there any guns that you can't get? Like, are the guns that are made in Cuba or something that are illegal because they're made in Cuba, or can you just get everything?
You can't have like tracers. Tracers are highly illegal. Suppressors are illegal.
Why are they illegal? They're needed to keep a well-regulated militia, I hear.
Well, no, they need to be able to.
Quiet.
They need. Yeah, it's too quiet. You might be an assassin. You need to be loud and proud when you're
If a bad guy pulls a gun out, you want to be able to hear it go off, so the good guys can pull their guns out.
You will hear it go off because the bullet travels faster than the speed of sound, and that's a sonic boom that you're hearing there. With the bang, I just want to say hello to Darren, who's entered the chat.
Hello, Darren.
Hello, how is everyone?
Over in Planet Yorkshire, and Michael has just dropped in a super chat, so I'll just drop that in. Thank you very much, Michael. Again,
thank you, Michael.
Yes, voting day should be a free day. Also, end of September, we very likely get the first fascist Kanzler here in Austria. Since yes, the right wing are doing rather well in Austria at the moment, and Hungary, and Germany, and
East Germany. Yeah,
not great. But the title of the show tonight, which you haven't really talked about, is just like, why are all these rich people psychopaths? And I want to talk about this because this week we've had a guy, Mikey. Do you remember Jerry Springer?
Yes, former Cincinnati mayor and talk show host.
Yes, and do you remember how he had a show and he used to get trailer trash on his show, and everyone used to laugh at them?
What? Those people were honest guests. None of that was made up or staged and just a general freak show.
Well, yeah. But anyway, we had the equivalent of that over here called the Jeremy Kyle Show. And unlike Jerry Springer, the Jeremy Kyle Show kept going because Jeremy Kyle's still alive. And they decided to bully one of the people who came on the show to the point where he killed himself after being on the show. And there is a trial going on right now in the UK to find out if there's any criminal liability for this man's suicide, which I genuinely think there should be, because this Jeremy Kyle guy, he was born into money. He went to private school, and every guest he had on his show was from working class backgrounds. Their lives have fallen apart, or they'd made some big mistake or something like that, and then they were offered a little bit of money to come on TV. And this man really, really took advantage of them. So much so that this guy who killed himself, he wants to go on the show to prove his innocence, because he was told by the people who made the show that lie detectors were up to 95% effective. And he thought, great, I can prove that I didn't have an affair, which he didn't.
And the clips that they've shared because of the court case, because the TV show's not been seen, has it? No. Up until now. So the 9 minutes or whatever that was seen in the court today, the first time anyone's seen those, and
they all went, oh.
The guy seems genuine. I mean, it's difficult to tell just from those clips, and defense has obviously chosen them, but he just seemed genuinely wanting to prove to his girlfriend that he'd not had an affair, and also he'd been turned down to go on the show because he was on antidepressants 6 months previously. So he stopped taking the antidepressants in order to get on the show. And then they let him on the show. And then 7 days later, he killed himself after Kyle bullied him on camera, bullied him after his girl, didn't even let him talk to his girlfriend to try and explain anything. And the guy just laid into him saying, you're a disgusting human being. And
just imagine, just imagine a lord, in the olden days with the big poofy hair and the, the corsets on and everything, just picking up someone at the side of the road and then sort of shaking them to death because they were poor. That's effectively what this was, but it had an audience of millions, like some really fucked up episode of.
Why is there going to be a trial? Why is there going to be a trial about it?
There is a trial. It's going on because
they're trying to establish what guilt the TV production company and the presenter had in this. They had a duty of care to the people that were on the TV show, and they're trying to establish whether they had a criminal failure on that front.
I mean, between Biggest Loser, Survivor, the exploitation of people for our entertainment is the name of the game. So if anyone thinks that, they were so wrong for that, you look yourself real hard in the mirror, you hypocrite. That is that most modern media is like we don't have actors that are coked out of their brains and crazy. They do it because we make them into these freak shows because it's funny for us to watch them.
Yeah.
This is the cost. That man is the cost of our fun. So people should consider maybe, I don't know, watching cool streams and more political things and things that are good for their spongy brain parts, and not just filth, because it's not free, dumb entertainment. That is at someone's expense, whether it's today, whether it's tomorrow. It hurts them and it hurts you.
Yeah.
Watch good stuff.
Well, Duke Vengeance is saying, today on the Jeremy Kyle show, the son of something to do with the Queen Mother yells at poor people to make rich twats and the middle class feel superior, which effectively is that's it in a nutshell.
It's Joe Rogan.
Povo porn. We had a show over here called Benefit Street about an entire street of people who are all claiming benefit of some sort, and it vilified them. It just made them look like really bad people who, everyone could just feel good about austerity happening in their direction, which is when the government decides to cut everything by 50% and let the chips fall where they may. So yeah, it's sad, and I agree. I really there's a point where I think, well, stuff like Love Island, there's some snobbery in the people who don't watch it. Need to let you know they don't watch it. It's like Game of Thrones, though. How do you know someone doesn't watch Game of Thrones? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you 100 times.
How do you know someone's not seen Star Wars? Oh my God, they will so tell you over and over again that they've never seen Star Wars. Yeah, it's like the crowning achievement of their life.
Is that Star Wars?
We should make certificates.
Strangely enough, I've never watched Game of Thrones, and not particular reason because I've not wanted to. I've just never
told you. It's the first thing Gavin said all night.
The thing is, I find it mystifying that I've never watched it. I've just never had the chance. That was it. I find it mystifying that I've not.
It went shit after the 5th season. Anyway,
did it? Oh well.
Yeah. So
it's fine. I didn't read the books, so it's fine. If you didn't read the books, it's great the whole way through.
Yeah, but this. I would prefer people to be watching scripted television that employs people who want to get into television, but also at the same time, I would like to see a lot more working class people working in television, making TV shows, being directors, being writers, talking about their experiences, instead of the only time working class people get on the TV is when they make absolute chimps of themselves on these kind of exploitation shows.
People internalize that. Like, there's a social cost to all of this. Like, I don't know why everyone thinks they're immune to, like, I can just look at like Gaza. Like, I'll just look at all these Gaza pictures and just be fine. No, you need to monitor how much you're intaking there, brother. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a superhuman. You're still a primate. Like, you're going to be affected emotionally by what you intake. And if you just feed people filth for years and years and years, they become completely numb to their human condition. So I'm surprised anyone even talked about this guy, to be honest.
Yeah, because like when you talked about the people going on programs like Jeremy Kyle show make absolute idiots of themselves, I knew a couple who went on the Jeremy Kyle show, and it was something to do with him having a bit of a harumper with another female who was in the story, and he said, "Oh no, I was guilty." So just as 15 minutes of fame on telly. That's what he said.
Graham, you said it was about the money. There's a lot of people who said in interviews that it's actually about the fame. In their culture, being on that show is exactly what did it for them. So. Yeah.
Well, I would like there to be other opportunities for people to be able to show that they can do stuff that, those doors aren't normally open to them.
Talking of which, did you see James Graham's McTaggart speech at the TV festival in Edinburgh?
No, I saw Carol Vorderman's. And hello, Wayne. Wayne has entered the chat. Hey,
hello, Wayne.
How you doing?
Hello.
Now
hello.
He's now got dial-up internet, 56k. It is running so smoothly, mate. You are T1.
I've got T1.
T1.
And
he appears to be sponsored tonight as well. Look at that shirt.
He is sponsored by Fly Emirates.
Sorry, you were just saying about the McTaggart.
The McTaggart speech. It's worth watching. It's the guy that wrote Sherwood and Dear England, talking about the TV industry having to do something now about bringing working class voices into the TV industry.
Well, Carol Vorderman said the same thing, didn't she? About how this is it's disgraceful the way that we're basically all the stories we tell are made by rich people about rich people.
Mm. But on the flip side of that, you've got people literally counting the amount of brown faces on the telly.
Yeah.
Is it on Christmas?
What happened to Christmas with all these brown faces celebrating it in Marks and Spencer's?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Isn't that what drove Lawrence Fox over the edge? Talking of rich people who are psychopaths, he made a big thing about that, didn't he? Because there were black people on an advert, a Christmas advert for a supermarket, and he was like, "That's it, the world's over.
I can't take it anymore."
Yeah,
strange.
The end of Christmas.
And then we've also got to mention J.K. Rowling, who has come back after 2 weeks of blissful silence.
Joanne Fabric.
First of all, she had a go at again at the Algerian athlete who she accused of being trans.
Yo, put her in the ring. Put her in the ring.
And now she's had a go at someone who is trans, who's an Italian Olympian, Paralympian, calling her a cheat, which is a bit rich coming from a woman who stole all her best ideas from the Worst Witch series.
Yeah.
Just saying. Michael, thank you very much for the super chats. Lots of super chats coming from Michael tonight. Thank you very much.
Michael's our guy.
Austria. Hey.
Michael Knight tonight.
Michael Knight. The US and UK base for their system and the way to look at life is still in the Middle Ages because they are that old and don't feel the need to reform. Yeah, I agree. We can make things incrementally better, but we're never going to see a revolution in this country.
I don't know.
They might tinker around the edges. In America, though, I mean,
it's all for grabs
next year.
We ain't got enough guns.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and here's
Shut
the
up,
thing.
Wayne.
Here's the thing, Wayne. No,
You don't come in here with your mic all on the wrong settings and shit, talking about some me. Shut up.
Love it. You show you, Mikey.
Hi, buddy.
Yeah, but this is the thing. Like, you've got all these Americans who've got these mad, like, underground layers full of guns, right? It's going to do nothing against a stealth fighter or a stealth bomber, or a drone attack. Do you know what I mean? You have as many guns as you like. If you want to go up against the US military, you're fucked. You're dead. That's it. Forget about it. They all have this idea that they're going to be there on the porch with the shotgun.
Depends how many. It depends how many of the military are MAGA fans, basically.
That's the worry, isn't it? That's where the fighting will be.
So there's two streams here. First stream, certain guys have been running guns like illegally. I mean, this has been ages, like almost as long as like bootleggers. Like in Indiana, right? Indiana has very lax gun laws versus Illinois. I am probably 20 miles from the border. So you drive over to Indiana. You find some sketchy dude that doesn't do background checks. And then he sells you the gun, and then you drive over here, commit your crimes. Everything's fine. So what a lot of people were doing in states that have the
Mikey,
gun laws.
between you and Graham tonight, we've learned how to commit interstate crimes and survive prison. We're doing well tonight.
You guys are in a land without guns. This is common knowledge here. So I'm sorry, I'm explaining how butter goes on bread. That's how obvious this is. Like, we already know this. Like, all the gun crime in Chicago, those guns come from Indiana when they trace back all the serial numbers. So what in some of these states that have higher restrictions on the guns, guys with no records are purchasing masses of guns and then selling them under the table. So when the ATF, I think it's Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms Division or whatever they're called, ATF and the FBI, when they raid these guys, they are losing 5 and 6 agents per. Like, it is not going smoothly at all. Like, these dudes, like they're going for like the guys who are dealing the guns, right? It's not going well. So that's the one stream. On the other stream, who the hell keeps telling y'all that it's only Republicans that have guns? Mind y'all fucking business. Damn, shit, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but also
I gotta protect my family from racists. Don't worry about what's over here. Yeah. I'm gonna pass every single background check.
But the sad reality is, if you own a gun, you're 7 times more likely. If you have a gun in your house, you're 7 times more likely to be killed with a gun. Because it's not in the news, but most of the murders committed are committed by someone who knows you.
Graham, I'm black in America. Never tell me the odds.
But yeah, we've got
Han Solo over there.
We've got Job saying, "Don't bring a gun to a drone fight," which is very true. Darian DeStar, thank you so much for the super chat. It's very kind of you, Darian. Who said, "XY rolling is a pain." Demanding, DNA tests from random women.
Let's give her a good swab. See what she's throwing in there.
Exactly.
In that maw.
Let's go 2023 and me on her.
And Ian McKenna says, you sort of can't say all rich people are psychopaths at the same time support Carol Vorderman, who is a millionaire. It popped up behind me.
She's probably got psychopathic tendencies. John Ronson's book about the psychopath test said that you're either a CEO or a mass murderer, basically, or Carol Vorderman.
Yeah. It's like Ian McKenna sent us a super chat.
She's the exception that proves that Selena Gomez.
Magneto sent us a super chat.
Holy shit.
Maybe some women can be very rich and not go crazy, but J.K. Rowling isn't one of them.
Are you talking bad about Taylor Swift right now, Graham?
No, I'm saying some women, like Taylor Swift or Selena Gomez, can be billionaires.
Oh, okay.
Should we just let Graham dig this hole for himself?
Yeah. So Graham,
there's always exceptions. # not all old people.
Everyone get your popcorn.
Graham, will you now condemn your statements about what you said about Taylor Swift?
I never said anything about Taylor Swift. Please don't come
for
me.
I'm shocked.
He won't.
I'm shocked to be associated with your comments, Graham.
Huge fan of Taylor Swift.
I'm going to tweet and bury you now.
On the phone for hours to try and get tickets for her.
Tons of mice. Clip it.
Her gig sold out in about half an hour. By the way, Oasis took you all day, but whatever. And the price didn't go up when you got through, which is unlike Oasis.
Oh, that was shocking. That was
£300 when you got through because the people deciding that were rich. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about rich people now, everyone? Yeah,
not as badly as you feel about Taylor Swift, but
stop it!
Pretty bad.
Oh no, we're gonna get into so much trouble now. Michael, thank you very much for the super chat. Michael's been very, very generous tonight. Thank you. Again, the US, UK is fucked because your system is that old, and the way that to reform is hard thought. I get that idea that we're doomed, but at the same time, there's no one right way of doing democracy. As you just said yourself, it looks like the right wing are going to get in Austria. Just because you've got a better system of democracy in a certain way doesn't mean that you're not going to allow wrong uns in. I think the American system is a bit nuts in some respects, especially they give far too much power to one person, which has been a man so far, the president. And I think other systems are a bit daft, like in France, where the president gets to choose the prime minister. So now the prime minister's Michel Barnier, for some reason. A guy that no one voted for and no one wanted.
Should be Eric Cantona.
Should be Eric Cantona.
I think if I was a Brexiteer, I'd say he's just done it to wind us up.
Yes, yeah.
If he has, then kudos to him. Tim Ballum is asking in the chat. Thank you very much, Tim. Have you read Snakes in Suits, Graham? No, I haven't, but I should add that to my reading list. Jup
it's
is
not
saying,
a country; it's a book, I think.
Jup James is saying Taylor Swift is a rich. See you next Tuesday as well. The ticket prices are insane. She could stop that easily, but there just isn't enough money for the rich snuts. I've got to say, Taylor Swift's gig was cheaper than the Oasis gig, and also the production values were a lot higher. It was a 3.5 hour gig.
There you go.
Oasis aren't going to do that. Oasis aren't going to do a costume change in between each song.
They would never.
And Taylor Swift is renowned for paying her roadies and staff way above the odds.
I'm just imagining the big dance routine with Noel and Liam coming out in leotards.
I was about to say, but if they did, though,
that would be
so
cool.
Good.
I'd go see that.
I might put a tenner on them having a tear up at one gig. You know what I mean? Just having a full on punch up on stage.
Isn't it a given?
Or even better, you've got the dancing girls girls, dancing like Liam as he's walking on the stage, and behind that. Behind him,
in a parka.
Exactly.
I did read somewhere though that if with Oasis, if they don't do all of the gigs, they won't get paid. They'll get paid at the end of this process. Whereas Taylor Swift could actually cancel because she can draw down money in advance.
And it's Saudi money that they're getting to do this.
Money's money, Wayne.
I know you probably can't see this, but I got an Oasis ticket.
Oh, look at
Oasis
you!
Ticket.
I don't think I'd hold that too close to the screen. I just took a screenshot.
Yeah, I'm just going to screenshot that. I'm going.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is from 1995. So quick to the time machine. Get Rachel out here.
How much did you pay for that, Graham?
£12.50. Brackets.
Wow. Big spender.
Subject to booking fee.
That's how they get
it.
That's Sunday, the 26th of November.
Inflation, my ass, is just greed.
Well, no, that is inflation. But then they
there
played.
There is an argument.
Reebok Stadium. That was £27. That was 2000. Sorry, my camera's not picking this up very well. And then they played the Royal Court, which is a tiny little venue in Liverpool, in 2002, and that was £28 for that one.
Christ. Actually, back then that was quite a lot of money for it.
But I got into that one for free. So and the Reebok one.
Oh, wow!
Just saying.
No, there is an argument, just to try and put a balancing side to this, that musicians don't make money out of selling records anymore.
Yeah.
No.
And the only money they make is out of merchandise and tours, and that's why the price is going up and up and up, basically. And it's probably going to it will break at some point in time. But if people are willing to pay 300 quid to go and see two 50-something-year-old men,
so you guys haven't had the lawsuits thing yet. You haven't fought with your Ticketmaster thing yet. Like
that's coming
over here. That's our lawsuit thing, and actually, Madam President, that's something that they've been working on. Is the junk fees? Is like you buy the tickets $49.99, but then you got the processing fee, which is $20, and then you got taxes for the state that it's in, and then like an entertainment fee for where it's at. So eventually, this $50 ticket has now cost you $125. And the artist gets none of that. Nobody. It's just people dipping off of the ticket prices.
Yeah.
Like the artist sees none of it. Like they're still getting the $50.
We've got a question that's just come in from Michael. Thank you very much for the super chat, Michael. Michael has been so generous.
So not going to be able to answer.
Michael wants to know everyone's top 3 Taylor Swift songs. Vienna Swifty checking on. Gigs got cancelled. We still had a great time. So my top 3 will probably be Blank Space at 3rd, Smallest Man in the World at 2nd, and Anti-Hero, which I genuinely believe is the best song of the decade so far.
You have totally redeemed yourself with the Swifties there, Graham.
Thank you.
I honestly couldn't name you one.
What?
She's not in my... She's not on my radar at all, honestly.
I think he said Shake It Off and Fortnite was his. I Got Lover, Bad Blood. I Knew You Were Trouble.
Bad Blood's
yes.
Very good. All right.
Champagne Supernova.
Damon,
is that one of hers?
Damon, can you hear me, Yorkshire?
I'm 53 next week, and I'm an old fart. I don't have any Taylor Swift albums, singles, and I don't.
Darren, here's what I found out. Noel Gallagher is my age, 57. Liam Gallagher is 2 years younger than you. And I've got to say, Darren, you look better than Liam at the moment.
Oh, I'll take that. As a compliment. Thank you very much.
and probably a better musician.
Okay, but I know that Wayne is a Swiftie. So what are your top 3?
I ain't got a bloody clue. Shake It Off. There you go. That's the one I know. I don't know. Whatever the girls watch. I'm in that sort of like that sort of weird age where I'm not too good with the younger people stuff.
Okay, well, Darian is suggesting You All Need to Calm Down. That is actually a very good song. Let's get
is that actually a song? I thought that was an instruction to us.
No, it is both. It's both.
We all took a deep breath.
It's a clever comment. And also, someone was asking, Questionable Insanity is asking, Let's Get Swifty. Is that a Swift song? No,
yes.
That's a Rick and Morty song.
But I do remember. Remember the time when was she a bit of a country western?
Yes, her
country
first album.
Yes,
first album was country western.
Yeah, and I remember because I'm quite a bit of a rocker myself, and being a Yorkshire lad, been a big fan of Def Leppard for all my life since I've had long hair, drain pipes, and patchouli oil.
Where's the long hair gone?
When are you telling me my hair's gone?
Oh,
but all the Razas. We got a burglary.
But I do remember watching a video where she did a bit of a duet with Def Leppard. You remember when they brought out When Love and Hate Collide?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember they were doing a bit of a video where they had the violinist on there. And I thought it wasn't bad, actually. So that's the only introduction I've ever got from Taylor Swift, and that's about it.
Fair enough. Well, we got some other fans in the house, which is great.
Are they all coming for you, Graham? Are they all coming for you?
No, they're not coming for me.
Yes, they are. They're circling. They're sharks.
But no, I'm genuinely concerned about the lack of bands at the moment, the lack of new bands coming up, and it's not just me becoming an old fart. It's genuinely there are no bands.
I have music.
Name a band that formed in the last few years. That's now at number one or something.
Polyphia.
Who?
See, that's your fault. You don't listen to good music.
No, but even if you weren't into bands, you would be able to name some bands.
That is literally made up out of your brain and your mouth right now. You just made that up. That does not mean anything. That is completely obscure.
No, I'm saying that even if you didn't go and see particular movies, you would know of their existence. You have to go and watch them, but you would have heard of them because they were at the cinema. Do you know what I mean? So
but if you don't go to the movies, then how would you know what's at the cinema?
Because you just find out, don't you? Because you don't have to go. That's what my point. You could just be trawling the internet one day and there'll be a news story about a premiere of a new film that's come out or a gig that's coming up or whatever. You know, you sort of take this stuff in, or at least I do.
Do you have cable, Graham?
No.
Do you watch commercials?
No.
Like what universe are you in that you're watching ads on anything anymore?
Well,
Graham lives in a warehouse.
Okay,
he lives in a warehouse.
I know that Borderlands is a bloody awful movie. I'm not going to go and see it, but I've heard a lot about how bad it is, and Madame Web as well. But the reality is that this decade so far, in the British music charts, a band has only been at number one for 3 of the weeks of this decade so far.
Yeah, I purely put that on Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, what's he been up to? He ain't making no songs?
Ed Sheeran had 7 in the top 10 at one point.
Yeah, but one of those songs that got to number one, one of those bands that got to number one was the Beatles, and another one was a group of Radio 1, a group of solo artists who Radio 1 put together. No other, like, I think the other one was Little Mix.
Well, this is just
nothing from
15 years ago.
Well, we're back to Hopscotch Square 3. The tickets cost too goddamn much, and the fucking artists don't get any money.
No, but the bands don't exist. That's what I'm saying.
Because it's not profitable. Yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort to do a band. It's a labor of love, yes, but still, I'm not gonna, forsake my career to go make $1,000.
And you got to split. You got to split at least some of the money 4 or 5 ways, basically.
Yes,
plus.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm concerned about it. So I'm not. It's not just me being old going, I don't like the music these days. I do like the music these days. I really like Sabrina Carpenter. I like Chapel Roan. I like Taylor Swift.
I'm trying to empower you while yelling at you. So that means you have to hunt out the guys who are about to hang it up for the last time.
I would like to see.
We have to push our middle class music genre people up instead of just taking the people from the record labels because they're already rich already.
Yeah. I think that platforms like YouTube could really help with this. They could take on Top of the Pops and literally do that themselves and have loads of people watching, make it really interactive so you feel like you're taking part in it and get those bands out there for people to see. So the radio's not doing it.
Let's set it up and then we'll be the millionaires.
I listen to Radio 6 a lot and I am shocked at how few new songs are on it these days. Like everything they play is at least 20 years old.
Yeah, but Radio 6 is shifting its demographic. That's the classic
exactly. But
BBC radio problem.
If I wanted music from 20, 30 years ago, I'd listen to Radio 2. It already exists. I don't, I want to discover music, and Radio 6 used to be the best music station for discovering new music. And now,
so you need to yell at them. Sounds like they're not bringing up the people.
they've shifted back to Radio 1 because it goes through those cycles all the time, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Radio 1 is now doing that. So.
Yeah.
Michael
has just dropped a super chat, and I'll come on to Wayne. Graham, you are one and a Swiftie, and I agree. New bands are a bit of a problem with problems, but maybe we're too old. No, I don't think it's about being old. I think the fact is it's like as Mikey said, it's a really difficult. Maybe it was Mike said this. It's really difficult to become a band these days because it's just you don't get any money for it, and you've got to split it 5 ways. Whereas if you're a solo artist, you don't have to split it.
Yeah. So I
and you can do everything in your house.
Yeah. If you're going to get someone on to entertain people, are you going to pay for a DJ, or are you going to pay 5 times the amount for a band?
Yeah, I mean, I personally know people from S Club 7, and they didn't earn any fucking money. Trust me.
Didn't write any songs. That's the
no.
Yeah. So I was reading a thing about Noel and Liam's money, and Noel's an incredibly wealthy guy, and Liam wrote 2 songs on the Oasis album specifically, and he's got very little money out of all of them.
Can I throw one music thing in here real quick? The son and the estate of Isaac Hayes is officially taking Trump to court because he already told him 1,000 times, stop playing that Sam and Dave song, Hold On, I'm Coming. Isaac Hayes wrote it. His kids say, my dad would not like a woman who sexually abuses women dancing around to his songs. So no, you can't use it. And then he used it like 100 times after that. And it's like, oh, cool. Don't even worry about it. Going right to court.
Is he walking on the stage to Shaft?
If he was smart, he would have did that.
He also plays YMCA, doesn't he? His Trump rallies. And dances to it.
But that's the thing. Did he come on to the music from Titanic the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever they can get the license to. Dude, those events are very expensive. Like to play music in an auditorium, and you need an entertainer's license in the States. And that means you need to, depending on the size of the venue and shit like that, it's not free. Like you need to pay for that shit. It might be 25 grand if you get a contract or whatever to pay for.
He's not paying any of his bills. That's why he's struggling to get arenas at the moment, isn't it?
And then even if you like certain people don't put their shit in a catalog. So if you're just playing shit off of your fucking iPod shuffle in the corner, that might be 6 or 7 different record companies that you now have to get permission from retroactively and get all those passes from. He's not doing that. So some people are letting it slide. Isaac Hayes' family are like, nah, fuck him. No, fuck it. Sue his ass.
George, thanks for the super chat, mate. Music has become too much of a business. Can't disagree with that. And Michael, again, another super chat for Michael. Michael get the drinks in for Michael tonight. Thank you. Good news. In 2 weeks, I'll be watching my favourite band, Blood Red Shoes, for their 20th year. First time in the UK since 2019. So that's pretty fucking cool. And also people are talking about music a little bit. Sarah White says, Radio 2 is 40 years ago. Graham and more, we're getting old. No longer the relevant generation. But I'm talking about new music. Radio 2 does not play new music. It never has done. That's what I'm saying.
Graham is the old man shouting at clouds.
Literally.
play new music.
That's dancing. We didn't dance like that when we were kids.
That's filth.
Look at his hips gyrating.
One of my mates used to run a night down in London, and they only were allowed to play music that was less than 12 months old. And once a record became a year old, they'll take out the back and burn it.
Yeah,
that's a little bit much.
I'm all for that.
There was a volcano in the back.
Get some new music to fill the void.
Some Mordor with you.
Yeah. And you got Wayne diving into the volcano to save his last Muse record. Like, no.
Right, you shut your filthy mouth.
Yeah. We got Ernie Burns. Eddie Burns saying musicians have to go get viral to get recognised, but it's difficult to maintain a band like that, which is true. And Robert Smith from The Cure writes, Oasis took their band name from the Swindon Leisure Centre. They were a support band for the Inspiral Carpets at the time, which is hilarious. And Rachel is in the chat saying New York court has caved and moved Trump's sentencing to after the election. I saw that. And okay,
white people, am I right?
Well, exactly. But Emma Kennedy on Threads made a point about this, saying, actually, it's probably better to leave it till then, because it might just give him a bump in the polls if he gets to say, "Oh, look how put I," I'm because he's got this thing about that they're really coming after you. I'm just standing in the way, and so they're like, "Oh, well, we're bending over backwards to accommodate you." It's not going to give him a bump. It's not going to give him anything, and
it is not about the polls.
Anyway.
No one cares about the polls. What does the law say?
I think the people of Poland
in the game. Yeah, the political polls, maybe politicians do. But it's not. Who cares about that? What does the law say? What should happen to him? It needs to be fair. That's what America wants. Is it to be fair? If he did it, lock him up. But when they play this bullshit, like, oh, I'm going to commute it and I'm going to push this, that, it makes people think that he didn't do anything.
Mikey, I know you, and I have a little faith in the American legal system, some faith, but when you've got elected judges, or you've got judges that are kind of put there by Trump in state courts and federal courts all over the place, basically, and in the Supreme Court, when you politicize those judge placements, surely you can't have a lot of faith in it. I mean, look at the decisions that have been made by that Florida judge.
But he's not in front of them. Like, that's the thing about he's got all these judges in his pocket. I'm like, yeah. But the case has to be in front of that judge.
Yeah, but the one in Florida, the mad woman in Florida is just, essentially breaking the law herself by on her rulings just to keep him out of having to go into court, really.
Yep.
So that doesn't seem like the legal system's going to grind him down on that basis, because he's just going to constantly delay it and then become president, and then I don't know, lock up Jack. What's his face? He's trying to.
He plays a martyr constantly. That's the thing. It's like, oh, woe is me, and then that fires up his base even more, saying, oh, it's the system, it's the deep state, it's everyone's trying to get our guy. So that then fires up his base more.
If Fani Willis didn't literally shit the bed here, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because we would have been talking about his sentencing and what he's going to figure out and all that. Like, I get that, like, oh, what are people saying and what's the energy about, like that? If there was no election this year, let's say it was next year, legally, what needs to happen to him procedurally? And so to take the election into account of what happens to him legally, I know what you're going to say, Graham, it doesn't matter, but we're talking about it in this moment.
Is that how I sound?
That's a good impression.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fuck you all.
Taylor Swift, I hate her.
I hate Taylor Swift. I'm Graham.
Jesus.
But Swifties all see you next Tuesdays.
But I get that, like, if it gets sent to the Supreme Court, or he tries to appeal it to the Supreme Court, that'll be his other, like, get out of jail free card. We have to start cornering him in, right? So when you start cornering him in and make him make those decisions and make him make all those court dates and then go try to campaign, and no, you have court, you need to do that. Make him be an adult, make him responsible for what he's done. If we keep playing this game where he's running for president, fuck that. No, we're doing what needs to happen, because you have wronged the people in this lawsuit, i.e. the American people. He is charged with defrauding the American people. So I'm not interested in any poll about anything. Whether the Trumpies know that he's a fucking felon and whether he's an insurrectionist or not is not my concern. Lock up the insurrectionist. Do whatever needs to happen to lock up the insurrectionist.
The thing I think we struggle with over here is that I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if any leader of a party in this country was even going to have to go to court to face these charges, they would not be the leader of that party anymore.
Right.
Even if it was Boris Johnson, who tried to talk himself out of that kind of thing. I just don't think they'd last more than a month and particularly convicted, 34 felony convictions in New York, basically. 34 convictions for fraud for a Tory leader or even a Labour leader.
Yeah.
But last 5 minutes.
But you say that, you look at all the COVID party stuff and all that. That didn't really sort of like catch fire over here.
You're right. I suppose they're starting to eke away at the idea, aren't they?
But that's the difference between the left and the right over here. Because if you're on the left and you do something fucked up, oh, we're locking you up. If you're on the right and you do something fucked up, well, let me just provide cover fire and no, justice is justice and right is right. And when you're constantly on the other side of the equation where the criminal justice system is grinding you into powder, no matter how hard you resist and no matter how innocent you are, like people are sick of people getting away with shit. So I think I really wish the trial was public and all that. That is the strongest tool that I think the Harris Walz camp should use this court case. This is not made up. These are the charges. I don't have any charges. I'm a prosecutor. I dealt with people like him. Like, that's the message. But the message of, oh, well, who's just going to get out? So don't even bother. Just spend your money elsewhere. And I'm not trying to just harp on you, Graham, because you're not the only one that says this. But it's counterproductive. And it's like instead of laughing at him for being a broke, old gelatinous blob, when you say, oh, but he has the power of the Supreme Court he doesn't have any power here.
Do you think
power?
Do you think that with this, will he use it and play it as though he's got a massive win? Donald Trump.
To jail?
No, man. On over this, you know, over this being put for after, will he play it as if to see it as a massive win for him?
I don't know. I think that puts him really in the hard spot, because remember the New York case, like after every court thing, he was walking out to the camera in that awkward hallway where it's all echoey and tinny and shit, and he would just go out there and rant for 15, 20 minutes. He has since stopped doing that. This is the soft spot on Smaug, right? Like, this is the gleaming, missing fucking thing. He is a criminal. He is in court issues, and he walks around acting like it doesn't faze him. Absolutely, it phases him. And the more we don't let him think about it every 2 seconds is an opportunity missed in my book.
And also, your parallel there is great, because Tim Walz is definitely Samwise Gamgee.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree that we shouldn't let Trump forget that he's a criminal, right? But at the same time, I don't feel like there's enough pressure on Biden in particular, who is the president of the United States and has just been told by the Supreme Court that everything he does is wonderful and that he can't be taken to court for no matter what shit he does while he's president, and can fob it off as something he did while he was president. He won't be done for it. So while he is president, he should be locking up the 6 judges in the Supreme Court
until they take the power away.
Yeah.
Until he does that,
definitely. One of the things I can't understand is the Supreme Court say the president can commit any crime he wants, and Biden's not doing something just to prove how stupid that is. Almost.
Yeah.
Like, just, break a law and go, no, you can't touch me. And that's what's going to happen.
Go jaywalk. Go do it. Just walk into a store, grab a Pepsi off the shelf, and walk out. And say,
shoplifting.
See, this is what you guys are letting me do. Nothing can be done about this. This is mine. Yeah. This is mine. You should just go through a grocery store like mine. This is what I can do with this.
I'm the president. I can do anything I want.
I can do whatever I want, and then the Republicans will get rid of that shit overnight.
I think he should take out Trump for a delicious meal.
Stop.
To a Taylor Swift concert,
yeah. Take him out to a Taylor Swift concert.
You're just trying to get all the algorithm bots on us.
I know. God. You can have all the MAGA law, all the Swifties, all come to get me.
So Graham, what do you think about Beyonce?
I love Beyonce. Queen Bee. What?
Good answer.
So, are you going to come after me about? Oh, don't do this. Don't do it.
Good answer.
No, she's awesome.
We'll accept it.
I was a bit disappointed not to see her at the DNC.
Dude, if Beyonce and Taylor Swift would have came out from behind the curtain, that would have been a wrap. Graham, you would have had to say, all right, that's it, guys.
Yes,
right,
I would.
President Harris.
Show's over. Go home. Pack it all up. Pullinator, thank you very much for the super chat, Pullinator. Mike, for reference, if you don't take out the time for the Queen's passing, Truss didn't last a month, and she didn't even have any criminal charges against her.
Yeah,
but they have a different system over in America.
Yeah, but I've still got a lettuce that's still like lasted longer than in my fridge.
Yeah, but the good news is that the guy who comes up with the keys to the White House, this guy who's predicted correctly all but one of the presidential elections since 1980, he reckons that Kamala Harris is going to win. So that's nice. They call him the Nostradamus of American elections, but Nostradamus didn't predict anything. So
No, Nostradamus was just he was just a div.
JD Vance and Trump are really tearing it up on the stump trail. Like every time they go out, it's a gaffe, or it's him mumbling incoherently into like looking into the wrong direction. Like, keep going, guys. You got 2 more months. Keep it up.
There is a real parallel to our election. It just seems like they can't do anything right in their campaign at the moment. Everything seems to be going wrong.
Every step is cow shit. Every step is cow shit.
Yeah. But at the same time, he's not losing the votes. That's what I'm worried about.
No one's voted yet. You can't trust the polls.
Yeah, they have. Isn't there early voting already? Like, can't they early vote now?
Man, I didn't do that shit yet. Like, come on.
No, it's not till November.
I know, but early voting, if you get your postal vote or whatever, I think there's people start voting very soon.
Those are the people that are registered as that party anyway, so they already knew what that vote. That's not the votes we're interested in. We want to see what the
swing state,
general public
margins.
We want to see what Georgia's going to do. We want to see what he might lose Florida, dude. Like, he is doing bad.
He's ahead in the polls in Florida and in Pennsylvania. Like, he's 2% on average across the polls ahead in Pennsylvania, which is the critical one, really. Whoever wins Penn State is going to win this election, pretty much. Michael, thank you very much for the super chat. Michael has just been Michael, please come to the live thing in a couple of weeks' time. Mike, I owe you some drinks. Trump will get in. There you go. Supreme Court. That's their plan. The system was made for him. Also, Swift and Queen Bee don't need to do anything. Nan up men. So there you go. Yeah, that's what I think. I think that even if Trump loses the election, he will still become president. Because
he'll certainly try to.
How does that work?
Because he's got the Supreme Court behind him, and the Supreme Court will say, "Oh well, even though he didn't win in, let's say, Pennsylvania, they can send electors to Washington, 19 of them, and they can all say, oh, we want Trump." You can have fake electors, and they'll say that that's illegal.
Yeah.
And if it's a tie, if it comes to 269 each, then it goes to the House of Representatives to decide. They get to choose the president. The Senate gets to choose.
But the thing is,
president.
This time round, it's Harris that has to approve the votes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how's that going to work, Graham?
I genuinely can't see her allowing those votes, those illegal votes, not to be sent back. So
can't January 6th at this time.
No.
Well, that's one of the, and also that's one of the positive things that.
And also this time round, I think if Trump's planning to have a rally outside the White House and say the election was stolen from me, basically,
but
if you don't think Biden, as Mikey said earlier on, Biden knows what's likely to happen, and he's in control of the National Guard and the security around DC.
Mike, I completely agree on that point of like there isn't going to be another January 6th because Biden's in charge, and if those people start marching anywhere near the Capitol, he's going to get the National Guard in straight away. He's not going to wait 3 hours.
They're going to be there. They're going to be there the night before, guaranteed.
But they're not the people I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the MAGA supporters. It's the judges. It is the judges, and don't forget, this has been a Republican project 50 years in the making since the downfall of Nixon.
So one thing you haven't exercised in your thought experiments is a landslide Harris victory. Why do you think that that's impossible?
Because of the Electoral College.
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll win the popular vote. Definitely.
She'll win it. She'll win it by 10 million votes. I think because Biden won it by 7 million. She'll win it by 10 million, but she won't win the election. And even if she does, she's not going to win because the Supreme Court decides what's legal.
I mean, as I understand it, the Electoral College was invented so that rich guys could make sure they could manipulate the vote, basically.
Yes.
That's kind of the point.
And non-white people were
white
suppressed.
Guys. White guys.
All right,
not rich guys.
No. There happened to be a Venn diagram of white rich guys, basically.
Yeah.
Well, Oklahoma ain't
right.
rich, like Kansas
No.
ain't rich. It's like, you know what I mean? Like the big cities that have all the money. And these little broke motherfuckers out in the swamps and shit need all of our fucking money to help keep their little fucking bayou from going into the goddamn creek.
Yeah, 'cause what state is it that's got, it's like absolutely underpopulated, but it's
Mississippi.
got Mississippi. It's got a shit ton of delegates.
Oh, no. You're talking about either probably one of the Dakotas or Nebraska's got a decent amount of people in like Bismarck and shit. But generally it's too many points for that many people. Like the amount in that entire state is like 2 of my cities. Like even on your best day, guys, you're just a couple of towns for an average state. But when you try real hard and hold
overrepresented.
Yeah, but that's the point of it. It's for rural white America to have more of a say in this country than it deserves. It's it's DEI for white dudes.
Yeah, and that's,
I love that.
DEI for white dudes, because nobody ever thinks about us white guys. That's the problem.
Yeah.
No. It's true. No, we're replacing you. Remember?
Yes. I do shudder when I see when we're talking about Trump and his supporters, when you see people of color or like Muslim people or Jewish people voting for Trump, and they're being interviewed and they're like, yeah, I love Trump, and you're Jewish, yeah, okay, that the people that he said were fine people in Charlottesville, do you know what they were saying as they marched? The literal words coming out of their faces was, the Jews will not replace us. What?
There were fine people on both.
These people, what do you think they're going to do when their man is back in charge with more power than ever?
But Graham, did you see the the Tenet? Is it Tenet? Tenet media group. Yeah. There's a court case at the moment saying that bunch of social media guys are being funded by Russian money, Tim Pool and others.
Tell us more about
this. The indictment on that is it essentially lists it's two Russians who used to work for RT and still live in the States, and they're the ones that have been funneling all the money through to Tenet. And they're in court, and there's evidence being provided to say that they were specifically targeting the groups you've just suggested with Russian talking points. So Jewish, Hispanic voters, black voters, disenfranchised young men, all the obvious candidate groups, basically, to sell those stories to. And then you go and look at the content that people like Tim Pool have been making, and it plays into those hands.
Ukraine is the enemy.
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone who constantly wears a beanie. Just go away, mate.
Yeah.
And has swords behind him. Come on, mate.
Our Tim has a beanie, and he also has swords. So I don't think they're the same guy, but Tim has a new car.
Yeah. We've got to go. We've got to mention that Michael has just asked for the favorite 3 Beyonce songs.
I can do something on that.
Single Ladies, Girls.
Single Ladies is definitely there.
Yeah.
Hey, love.
Can I have Say My Name, or is that?
I think that's a Destiny's Child.
Crazy in Love. I mean,
I can give her the credit for that. I love that song.
I mean, Destiny's Child is just Beyonce and the Beyonceettes, right?
Yeah. And we've also got
the Supremes.
We've also got Punninator. Thank you very much for the super chat, Punninator. If January the 6th is to be repeated, MAGA know they couldn't win with president on side. I fear they're planning something worse. It just takes a handful of nutters in a few states to spread the carnage.
Yeah.
But, the CIA are all over it. They're not that smart. If any insurrectionist nutter communicates with another one, the CIA are all over it. The only way they're going to do something is if they do it autonomously on their own, do all their planning on their own, and go out without looking anything up on the internet. I was going to say, but what about
the extent to which those riots were quite coordinated in this country? The response was quite fed by social media, and I genuinely believe that was a right-wing practice for January the 6th. I think it's the same players involved, not to be too tin hat about it, but the same people wanted those people on the streets doing racist stuff as will want an insurrection in the States. You know.
Yeah, but do you remember the riots that we had over here? That was all done on bloody
That's what I mean.
Messenger.
Yeah.
But we caught them all. Like those people
no, it's true.
are now all in jail because they talked to someone else about what they were going to do.
But then all they had was wheelie
was...
bins to set on fire and bricks. They didn't have like 10 guns that they could run around.
You mean those who had legitimate concerns?
Legitimate
burning wheelie bins.
Yeah, and terrorizing a community that's in mourning for the loss of 3 little girls. That's absolutely.
You're not helping. Tap 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 tap.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And also there was a bit of a weird video that I don't know if you saw it, but this was Vladimir Putin saying that he supports Kamala Harris for president, and he had this cheesy grin all over his face, like, if you believe this, you'll believe anything.
It's got to be AI.
Yeah,
no, that's our crowds.
No, but the thing is, some of these AI videos that are coming out now and they're all over like Instagram and that.
You can't tell,
but some people can't see, like, because obviously the mouth isn't sort of like in sync. It's like an old kung fu movie, so you can kind of look at it and go, But some people are just like absolutely buying it and just saying, "Oh, this is legit," clicking and then getting absolutely rinsed. Oh yeah, just pay £10 and we'll do that. Oh, actually, we'll just take all the money out of your account. But because it's got a celebrity face in it, because I know Joe Rogan's had a few done to him. And what's his name?
Why would you need to do
Martin Lewis?
that? Because he'll say whatever you want him to say for money. So
Joe Rogan would do it anyway.
Yeah,
for one creatine pill.
It was going back to the Tim Pool thing. There's a guy, Jesse Waters, the Fox News guy.
Yeah, Jesse Waters.
Jesse Waters. When he found out that they were getting $400,000 a month for making YouTube videos, he said, "Well, who do I contact to get this money?" And he said it on camera.
He said, "Sign me up right now."
Yeah, sign me up. It was great money, basically.
Can I have his slot since he's indicted? Like, can I get in on this?
What we need is a mad dictator somewhere that wants to fund this conversation every night. Is that Michael?
Michael. Michael, thank you.
Michael, step up.
Yeah.
I need a Ferrari.
Michael is our Putin tonight.
No, Michael's done enough. Michael has done enough. I swear.
Wayne needs to replace his Capri.
Orange Capri.
Tim Pool got $100,000 per stream. Michael, if you don't love us, just say it.
Yeah, we like your money.
Who was paying him 100,000? Is this the money that's coming from Russia?
Guys,
yeah, this is coming from these RT guys.
$100,000
per stream.
And here's the really interesting thing. They said you don't need to change anything about what you're saying, because what they'd done was identify somebody that was already talking Russian talking points and say, here's $100,000 to distribute them more.
I keep saying it. If we want to make money, guys, we need to be right wing.
Let's go full right wing. Fuck
yeah,
it.
Putin is such a lovely man. He's a lovely man. I love the way he invades other countries with mercenaries and rape gangs and just enslaves the population that he takes over and kidnaps children and takes them back to Russia to be abused by crazy psychopathic Russian families.
This is how it happens. You start off by disliking Taylor Swift, Graham. Just Graham.
Yes.
And then now we're all of a sudden Putin
Look at the
fans.
spiral. Look at the spiral.
Yes.
Graham is the Tory. Graham is the Tory.
You take that back. You take that. You take my name out of your mouth. I'll fucking slap you.
That Farage bloke, I like him already.
I'm happy to be called Scouse whatever or Ginger Cunt whatever, but if you
Graham reform at Hughes,
you will see my angry side. Not many people get to see that.
Nigel Farage has had a bad rap, and I think we should reevaluate our opinion.
Yes, I think so as well.
I think we should agree with Graham's assessment on Nigel Farage that he means well. He just doesn't say it right.
Yes.
He fundamentally agrees with all of his policy ideas and his riots.
Yeah, so yeah,
especially his riots.
Yeah.
Graham's got a massive tattoo of Farage on his back.
It's life size. They were sitting next to each other at a coffee shop, and he just sketched it.
Are you monitoring? Are you monitoring the number of viewers we're getting now? We've just flung ourselves to the right. Look,
it's gone up through the roof. It's gone up by 1,000.
We've spiked.
It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Oh no, it's gone down. It's gone down. No, we're losing people. We need to.
All right, we love Taylor Swift. Putin's an arsehole. Come back.
How will they know to turn back on?
Oh, Michael's back. After you demanding $100,000.
Our Lord and Savior.
Thank you, sir.
Michael says, "I just got my climate bonus here in Austria. Google why." So they just got a climate bonus.
Climate bonus? Hang on a minute. This is my wheelhouse.
That sounds like a winter fuel allowance, doesn't it?
The bad rap Farage had was his father's attempt to rap on the night of his conception. That's from Puninator.
He tried to rap.
The bad rap was the cling film around his head that accidentally had a hole where his mouth was, unfortunately. Genie bottle.
Wow, have you looked up this climate bonus?
No.
Austria's Klima bonus is a yearly payment given to all residents of the country as a direct compensation for the newly implemented CO2 pricing system.
Wow.
The program's goals are to encourage sustainable practices and integrate climate action. And we can't even let our pensioners have a bit of heat.
Heat.
Yeah.
Fire.
Amazing.
Yeah, just get a barrel in the middle of the living room. What's wrong with that?
The good thing about this, though, is that Michael just got his Klima bonus and he's giving it to us. So that's cool.
What a champion.
He's funding this podcast. That's great.
Deep state money.
And I'm going to go out and save the planet tomorrow in my diesel van.
Excellent.
Wayne. And your Audi.
And my Audi. Me turbo Audi.
Right up my arse every night.
That's what I do, mate.
Flashing your lights.
Yeah. Move over.
And I'm like, where's the fire? I don't know. Eddie Byrne saying it's not a tattoo of Farage, it's just my arsehole. They look exactly the same.
Yeah. Well played.
Can't argue with that, Eddie.
What a happy accident.
Kind of reminds me of that Leslie Nielsen sketch.
I am now totally absorbed by Michael's link on the climate bonus. If you live in an area that's well serviced by public transport, you get less climate bonus than somebody that lives in an area with no buses.
Oh, wow.
I want that.
Look at that. Europe doing something nice.
This is a very smart way of using tax money to encourage behavior. Very good.
Yeah, America.
Yeah, America.
We're not even the worst polluters, so shut up.
Yes, you are.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
If you count all the crap you buy from China.
Hang on. Who's
India?
worse? China? India, there's 1.4 billion people there.
Okay.
Per capita.
Yeah. Actually, Australia is per capita worse than America, but there's only about 27 million American.
And also let me throw this in there too. We had to fucking make houses. So that, I mean, you guys have already, but you know what I mean? Like, you guys were already established by the time all this shit happened. Like, we had to build.
What do you mean? Do you think we live in 300-year-old houses?
Yeah,
what?
you do.
No.
Don't you guys all live in, like, Harry Potter's castle or some shit?
Oh, for fuck.
Well, no, that's just the author of Harry Potter who sits there.
Graham and Mikey are about to start a transatlantic fucking thing. Graham's already pissed off the Swifties.
How have I pissed them off?
He hates them.
You are trying to. Okay.
It's ever since he went Tory, Wayne. That's what's happened.
Okay.
Well, he's wearing blue.
So, which country do you reckon has the highest emissions by capita? I said that I thought it was Australia. It's not. The highest emissions per capita. Can anyone guess?
I don't think it's us.
Tons per person. So,
I don't
just
think
to give you
it's
some
gonna be
idea,
America,
Australia is 15 tons per person. The US is 15 tons. And then there's a bunch of countries with more than that.
Okay.
Ginger Island.
There's something that ties nearly all of them together.
The bond of friendship?
No, it's Oman, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar with 36. So
Right,
that's what I'm saying. So how could you yell at us?
tons per person.
So basically, it's the Swifties. Now you're like having a go at the Saudis.
The point is, only three men and a goat live in Qatar, whereas over 330 million people live in America. So
we're rapidly losing all of our dark funding.
Yeah,
it's the goat's fault.
God damn it!
Yeah.
Trinidad and Tobago's in there as well. What's wrong with you, Trinidad and Tobago and New Caledonia?
You're not taking into account the industry in that country versus the thing. So Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, because they're refining oil. They're literally throwing carbon up into.
I was going to say, how are they creating that calculation? Because Trinidad surely is that about flights? Is that?
I don't know why Trinidad's in there, but like,
where is this study from?
They do. It's just a website I'm looking at. They do pump a lot of oil. They do pump a lot of oil.
Website.com.
It's visualcapitalist.com, so it's probably not completely true. San Martin's in there. And then it's got a little asterisk to say the Dutch side of St. Martin. Okay.
So the jet.
Just made it up.
Or it's the cruise ships, right? Or it's got to be the cruise ships.
All right, I'm going to look at Wikipedia because they're probably
whereabouts is Montserrat on there? Because it's a bloody volcano.
Yeah, Wayne's Island's way worse than fucking America. It's literally a fucking volcano.
Yeah.
We've got 5 people that live on it.
Okay, well, number one, according to Wikipedia, is Palau. No one's been to Palau except for me. I've swam in Jellyfish Lake.
I'm from Palau.
No, you're not.
Sorry, Graham.
I'm not.
Have you been to every country or something? You keep that quiet.
It. There's a book.
Did you write a book about it?
He's mentioned it actually.
Anyone want to buy a copy of my book?
Wayne.
I would actually like to buy a copy of your book.
I've got a box full of them here. You can have a load of them. There you go.
But I want to sign one. Well, I want to buy one, and then I want to sign one.
I need to write the sequel before I get to
one of them.
Mikey, I'll sign it for you. I've got a habit of doing that, signing other people's books.
Thanks.
Sign it for me.
Thanks, Wayne. I got to authentically sign it. And look, he even wrote Wayne's name. Cool.
Just says Wayne in Basildon.
Yeah.
What? Wayne's got 1,000 signed copies of Charles Dickens books available for you.
Michael's back.
Wayne.
Michael's back to say there was a Tory government in Austria doing it. So that tax.
Yeah, there you go.
Not the tax, the dividend, I guess, to the people.
See, everyone's turning Tory.
It was the Tories that did it. Well, this is an interesting thing. So Richard Nixon, the American president, was the first. He was a Tory, but the first. He was the first world leader to, on the sort of capitalist side of the scale, to suggest having universal basic income.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. And Thatcher made the single market basically happen.
Up until Nixon. Nixon was the last Republican that actually had some reasonable social policies, and then they killed it after him, didn't they?
Going back,
look, I'm not saying saying reasonable for America.
Going back to the per capita CO2 emissions, number one, Palau, but that doesn't really count because hardly anyone lives there. Qatar, number 2, Kuwait, number 3, United Arab Emirates, number 4, Bahrain, and then Trinidad and Tobago for some reason, and then Brunei.
That's so random.
Brunei, and then Gibraltar,
and the island.
Gibraltar.
Yeah, because they don't. I mean, how do they make their power? It's just all generators and stuff, I guess.
It's true.
And they've got an
Plus
airport.
those monkeys.
It's a tiny little rock with an airport on it.
Of all those places, right? Surely Gibraltar, you could slap a shit ton of fucking solar panels in there, and you'd be all right.
Well,
it's pretty much sunny all the time.
I love the way
but there's no land.
Say Gibraltar. So can you
There's
say
no
Gibraltar
land to
again
put them.
for me?
Huh?
Can you say Gibraltar for me again?
Gibraltar.
Oh, I love that. I
It's
can
like
listen
he
to all
doesn't know
night.
he's doing it.
And then it's New Caledonia. Then it's Oman. Then it's Saudi Arabia. Then, my friends, it's Canada. I think that's because of all the tar sands. Then Australia, and then the United States, and then Russia. God, it's all the baddies together, isn't it?
I know.
From Australia watching this.
We can,
probably
you're getting real close, Graham, to getting some freedom.
Freedom.
Oh yeah, Mikey, I'll tell you every fucking week.
Hey, do you need freedom over there? Because y'all
don't want your freedom.
Mikey.
Real chippy. You getting real
Mikey.
chippy.
I don't want your freedom.
All right.
Mikey, we fucking invented you. Wind your neck in. Wind your fucking neck in.
We invented you.
Wayne,
oh my God.
Wayne, I'll sit back if y'all don't need no freedom, but I'm gonna lean in if you keep talking crazy to me because you're gonna get freedom up in this motherfucker. All right.
Oh, look at you with your gun.
So,
Mikey, thank you very much for the freedom. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate
no. When people do things, when people have things that we want or upset us, we freedom them. So if y'all don't shut the hell up, it's gonna be
missiles of freedom.
Yeah, you're gonna get some tomahawks of freedom coming y'all way.
Oh, that kind of freedom.
Yo, y'all need some. You need some democracy in your country because we about to give it to you.
But bruv, we built them for you.
You want to get liberated? Keep talking.
We share our space.
Liberate this motherfucker.
Mike is back. Michael, thank you very much to Michael in the chat. Also, Austria/Vienna has a €365 ticket to take public transport for a year. Not 113% sure. Google it. It's called the Climate Ticket. KLIMA. So €365 ticket, and it allows you to take all public transport for a year.
Can you get a train to Austria, like from the Eurostar?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, not direct. You'll have to change
from Paris or somewhere.
In Paris or Lille or Brussels, but you can get there.
I think I might go there. Sort out my bank accounts and all that.
I've actually done that. So if you want some help,
if you want some help
to
Austria,
if you want some help getting around,
if you want to know how to get to Austria without
flying,
using an aeroplane,
do you know what?
I know a book that you could think about buying.
I wish I had a separate mic that I could just drop every time fucking quiet goes.
I may have mentioned it.
Have you got your own island, Graham?
No.
Oh, he hasn't mentioned that tonight.
You're the first person to mention that. But I did win an island on a TV show, yes. But unfortunately, since Jeffrey Epstein, owning an island isn't as cool as it used to be.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Graham, you really are burying yourself today.
Okay, I get.
Let's just summarize where we're at.
I get what it is now. Okay, I get it. No need to explain. I get it.
This show's taken a turn.
Graham's upset about the good old days when there were bands. You could listen to bands, dance in your own way on your own private island, just like Epstein.
Absolutely.
And the world's just betrayed him in every way measurable. It is just betrayed.
When I got the island, like Lost was still quite a thing. So like an island that was cool, thanks to Lost, and then it became not cool. It became not cool.
Yeah,
and then Jeffrey made it real cool.
Real not cool, Jeffrey.
What we're demonstrating is the title of this show is "Why Are Rich People So Fucking Evil?" Basically. Yes. And we know somebody with a private island who's traveled extensively around the world who hates Taylor Swift
and a Tory.
So we should be picking
I'm gonna do you
why are you so evil, Graham? Why?
Libel, defamation.
As soon as you get an island, you just flip out and go evil.
I like how Graham got us. I like how Graham got us on here, and then he's all like, "So yeah, evil people. Yeah,
yes.
Once who own islands, we hate them.
Hands up if you've got an island."
I don't even think it's cool to have islands anymore.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I don't even like my island.
Well, Ernie Burns says at least it's an ecologically friendly private island. Fewer flights.
That's true.
You can't. You could probably land a helicopter on it. But
look at Graham, bloody colonizer.
Never mind the 8-foot tall blue aliens that lived there before Graham got there.
Can you get the train to your island?
No, can't get the train.
Yeah, what's the carbon footprint of your island?
Yeah, I bet per capita.
Okay. I'm glad you asked that question.
I'm
glad you asked that question. It's actually carbon negative because it is a mangrove island, and the mangroves are one of the best natural carbon sinks in the world. They don't just pull carbon from the atmosphere and put it into the tree. They put it down into their roots and bury it under the sea.
Cut down the mangrove so we can count how much carbon is in there.
Yeah, Graham's probably got a nuclear reactor on there.
In a few
nuclear reactors are pretty green, actually.
That's
in a few million years, you
Yeah.
could be a new oil baron, couldn't you? Or your
No.
As if he
descendant.
isn't already.
No,
He just
Because the
doesn't
mango
tell
will
us.
turn into oil.
no,
Right. Eventually.
no, because we have fungus now.
Oh,
Okay.
I hate a good fungus.
So we could only get oil, gas, and coal during the Carboniferous period because there was no fungus. So basically, if a tree died, a plant died, an animal died, there was nothing to eat it, unless someone came on.
I didn't know that. Yeah,
And so until we have mushrooms and fungus and stuff like that, and little insects that could eat wood, and so basically we can never have, even in millions of years' time, because fungus exists.
we're not making any more
We will
oil.
never make any more oil. No, what we've got is absolutely finite, and it'll run out soon because we keep burning it.
We should think very carefully about how we
keeping it.
use it. Maybe stop
Yes.
burning
I don't
it.
believe him.
Yes. Michael, thank you very much for the super chat. Michael's given about 100 quid tonight. Thank you, Michael. Los Angeles was
Thank
very
you,
nice.
Michael.
Spent a lot of money. People lived on the streets with suits to work. Still expensive. Yeah, I saw some real poverty in Los Angeles when I was there, and it was really upsetting.
Great, you was down in London last week, weren't you?
Yes.
Did you go anywhere near Marble Arch?
No, I was out in
Right,
Twickenham.
because Park Lane, that little bit in the central reservation, has now become a tent city. It's mad.
Oh, I think I heard something about this.
Yeah, it's proper. Like, I was there the other week, and I was like, "Where the bloody hell has this come from?" So, for those that don't know,
14 years of Tory government. That's where it's come from.
well, yeah, there is that. But your lot, you mean? So, so Marble Arch is on Park Lane, which is like one of the most expensive roads in London. Is you got all
It's right next to Boardwalk. I played Monopoly before.
Shut up.
Go to jail.
But right next to Hyde Park, and you've got a central reservation. And
Get out of jail card free is orange.
Shut up! You're such a dick, Mike.
I just thought it was convenient that the get out of jail free card is orange. It's funny. It should be.
Wayne, can I just object? Can I object to the dick insult?
Sorry, Mikey.
And then make sure you address Mikey. Yeah, because calling me a dick, that's fine. That's my name.
Yeah.
You know what? I only just clocked that. I'm just over familiar with Mikey. Yeah.
He forgot.
Homeless people and rich people. Did you see what Elon Musk or Space Karen said yesterday on Twitter?
Space Karen.
God,
That's
we could
great.
talk about him for the rest of the night.
He said, "This is why the homeless, more accurately referred to as drug zombies, problem only gets worse and worse with increased government funding." And he's retweeted somebody saying that the government are causing.
I swear,
he's calling other people drug zombies. This is the ketamine man.
He's calling homeless people drug zombies.
He's a fucking drug zombie.
Yeah.
I used to have substance abuse issues. Dude is a fucking addict. Like, dude, you can't get you fucking ketamine drop every interview now. It used to be sparingly. You stay fucked up because you're scared of the little man inside of you.
Speaking of which, did anyone see Tommy Robinson's interview that he did a few weeks ago with Crowder, where he was off his tits? He was grinding his teeth. He was gurning.
Not happy.
Or Bill Maher. Did you see Bill Maher talking to those fucking kids?
Oh, the kids. He's been reported. He's
high as shit, and he's been drinking fucking whiskey all night, and he's talking to these kids, asking them these weirdo, what kind of woke shit are you doing in school? Like, are you a man or a woman? What are your pronouns? Like, really awkward, predatory
11-year-old kids. I was like, whoa, this is
weird.
Because I was watching the Majority Report, and there was a caller came in who he does stuff like that in prisons. Like, he reports predatory behavior and psychological reports and all that sort of stuff. And he was saying, yeah, we've reported him because that's just not
He's
right.
Grooming
as fuck. Yeah. And this geezer's like prime time TV. Really? You're sitting there, you're sitting there getting jarred up on the fucking TV, talking to little kids, and the parents have got to be there. So the parents have clearly got a bung, and they're just sitting their kids in front of this horrible, weird geezer who's got no kids, which always is a bit suspect to me.
Careful, that's a JD. That's a JD Vance line as well.
Did anyone see JD?
Wayne just called everybody a childless cat lady. You heard it.
Childless cat ladies out there.
Did anyone see JD Vance? Was it the donut shop where he went in and tried to talk to someone like a normal human? And it was like Rishi Sunak trying to buy fuel for his car. It was like,
how long you been here?
Audited all the staff, didn't I? Audited them, didn't I? How long have you been here?
Yeah.
Can I get a bagel? Yeah. No, it's a donut shop.
It was like AI trying to make small talk. Do you know what I mean? It was
small chat GPT.
Just
Tim Walsh went into a donut shop yesterday and just very specifically ordered all of the donuts, then looked up at the camera and said, "See, I know how to order donuts."
Michael, thank you very much. Another super chat from Michael. Thank you.
Our Lord and Savior.
Taylor got the Samuel Goldwyn villa in LA, renovated it, so she did have to pay taxes on it. Saved the building, but saved money. Haters and lovers should like that. And One Angry Pagan is saying that the term.
Why'd you laugh when you said that, Graham?
Because I'm just evil. The term. I'm going to try and say this right. Detritivores is what you're looking for. It wasn't until fungus and detritivore animals evolved in the Carboniferous that we saw the breakdown of such biomaterial.
Wow, this is turning into mystery hour. This is brilliant.
This is science.
But this is why we're not going to get any more oil, and we should start a campaign to save the oil. Instead of saving the whale, no one gives a shit about the whales or the polar bears or the planet. Let's save the oil. So somebody think of the oil.
Do you guys
with our new funding streams, basically, we should get Graham Hancock on next week to explain to us.
Yeah. Should I get Professor Howe on as well? Really go into it.
Yes, please do. That'd be quite cool. Svax is saying what Bill Maher, as in Bill Maher off American TV.
Bill Maher.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So is he's gone down the rabbit hole, hasn't he? Hasn't he gone a bit?
He's a right fuck up.
He's been going weird for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been drinking heavily.
Yeah. Bit anti-vax as well, isn't he, from what I've heard?
Yeah.
Sorry, anyway, Mikey was talking. Interrupted.
I was going to say something about polar bears. Do you guys have polar bears in your local zoo around you? Have you guys seen them recently?
Yeah.
Why the fuck would we want to keep those things alive? I just want to know, like, honestly.
God, Mikey, you went there.
Wow. We have got all right wing now.
This is brilliant.
You see,
the
pandas,
money is rolling in.
They can't be asked to fuck to save their own species. I say, let them die.
No, that's the pandas. That's the pandas. I'm talking about polar bears.
That's it. That's it. The subscriptions and the views are rolling in now.
I'm going to open the window and let that Putin money come in.
I'm just saying.
They're just bringing their death on themselves. Basically.
Yeah, it's their own fault.
Yeah.
So let me put some things into perspective for a couple of people who may not know the real truth of how awful polar bears are. I'm sure all of you know about the NBA and what a standard NBA hoop looks like. Now you know what the backboard looks like. Now, when I tell you that this motherfucker is almost 3,000 pounds, and when it stands up, its head is over the top of the backboard, and it's trying to get into your fucking house, fuck the goddamn polar bears. They need to go to bars.
Maybe we shouldn't be building houses near the polar bears.
They're coming south.
Mikey.
Hold on, Wayne. They're coming south because of the climate crisis. I'm in Chicago. What if they swim across Lake Michigan and start eating my ass? Nah, hell no.
Then maybe you'll start recycling at that point, Mike.
No,
maybe you shouldn't have caused the climate crisis in the first place.
Quick, recycle! The polar bears are coming.
Yeah.
I never expected the polar bears to eat my face.
How's that carbon neutrality look now, motherfucker?
Smokey the Bear has got to call his big brother the fucking recycling polar bear, and he is not fucking around.
See that's why the smart people live on an island.
Yes,
they can swim miles. Wayne.
They can
miles.
I've been working on a children's book called The Last Iceberg about a polar bear and a penguin that go hunting for the last iceberg. I've been doing it for about 4 years because I cannot think of a good ending for this story because everybody dies.
Mikey shoots it. Mikey
Mike,
shoots
no,
it.
You
Mike,
do the research.
Mikey gets eaten by the penguin.
How
Yeah.
does
Turns
the
out he's
penguin
Chicago.
get from the Antarctic to
Well,
the
this
Arctic?
is the point. This is why you have to buy the book to find out how they meet.
You have to read
basically.
it.
Because
I guess
Arctic
Hang
means
on a minute. What, Mike? Sorry, you can't come on here and plug your book. That's not.
You won't catch Graham doing all of that, would you?
Graham's got a book and he's
absolutely right. So Graham got a book as well. How does that work?
Graham's never
Called
done
Man
that.
of the World, available from all
I
bad
can't,
bookshops.
Wayne. I can't plug a book I haven't written. So that's not gonna happen. Anyway, the point is that I put a little cute seal in the story, and then I go and do some research to find out how polar bears and seals
get clubbed.
on. It turns out polar bears like dine on seals quite regularly.
Oh
Yeah, and I think and the Danish beat the shit out of them.
It's not a cute kiddie story. They need to eat at least one a week during the summer, basically. It's like, okay, yeah. I don't know. I don't quite know how the middle of the book goes where the polar bear eats the friendly seal.
That's
Yeah.
like the
Kids
old
are gonna be
what's it,
upset.
And
the
how is the
frog and
seal?
the scorpion story, isn't it?
Yeah. How is the seal ever going to get a lid on crazy?
Wait. So when do the?
Oh, we're
when
back
does
to
the-
music again. We're back to 90s music again.
I was about to
Glad
say.
someone got that.
I was about to say, and then when he's kissed by the rose, like then what?
Kiss by a
Oh,
Rose
no.
towards the end, definitely.
Worst Batman film ever.
Chuck James is talking about. It sounds like a bit like the orcas attacking the yachts.
Yeah, that's a serious problem.
Y'all keep thinking orcas are like fucking Free Willy. These motherfuckers are assholes. They are the wolves of the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Everybody's afraid
wolves
of
aren't
them,
assholes.
except
They're
us.
doing what they need to do to stay alive.
All right, you one of them. Oh, let's go see this friendly animal over here, kind of shit.
No,
Mikey is our
just
climate
live in their
change and environment corrorespondent. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Keep
Fuck
the
'em.
animals
Kill all the
in
fucking
wild.
whales.
I say
Kill all
let
the
'em
polar
die.
bears.
Mike is literally Graham's burying this show completely.
You suddenly start to realize why Americans want so many guns. Yeah, because they're terrified the polar bears are going to attack any minute, basically.
And if it isn't the polar bears,
tall.
it's the orcas.
Yeah.
Orcas in.
Yeah, Mikey, how many orcas are in your street?
At the moment, I haven't checked. It's past curfew, Wayne. I'm not allowed to crack the windows.
That's why but that's why you need your AR-15, isn't it?
You need, dude. I don't know what you do against a whale. Call Captain Ahab, I guess. I don't know.
We rely on a friendly local policeman with a small truncheon to sort out the awful problems
and
that we
stern words.
Stern words. Yeah.
Yes. Y'all are getting Carl Winslow. We got Terminator.
Yes, and a detective with a deer hunter hat.
Ian McKenna's asking which country is being invaded by polar bears, Mikey, as our polar bear correspondent. Can you answer that one?
The United States and Canada.
Under threat. Well, they've got to get.
You're claiming Canada as your own now.
Well, they're coming through our northern border through Canada, just like the illegals.
Why don't you build a wall then?
Build a massive wall. Build a massive wall.
And you know the thing that pisses me off the most about like the border speak and how Kamala failed because of the border. Dude, she went to the countries that are where the people are coming from. These dumb motherfuckers thought everybody coming here was from Mexico. That's how stupid they are.
Yeah.
That's how dumb they are. They're like, well, why didn't you go to the border? It's like, because the problem's not at the border. No, but they're walking through the border. So it is. It's like, no, but they're from Honduras and Nicaragua. So no, they're at the border because that's where they're from. Like, I don't know if they think people are just born at the border or something. I don't know what the problem is, but
yeah, they're just brown. So
they live on the border. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't like them. They're brown.
That's what they think, isn't it? You're right.
They're from the border.
But I think this video should start a meme about the polar bear invasion through Canada. No respecters of borders.
Yeah. So
and then in a week's time, Trump in one of his rambling speeches says,
"Oh,
you know
the polar bears. You know they're
talking
everywhere.
about the polar bears. They're everywhere."
Yeah.
So in
I just
in the
saw
north,
one yesterday. It was so
It
big.
couldn't come out blood.
He
Didn't
came
you
up
think
to
about
me.
the rampant polar bears.
Polar bear came up to me, said, "Mr. President."
in the
You're
north,
so great, I love you. Can you ride on my back,
you've got
please?
the white invasion of the polar bears coming from the north, and then you've got the brown invasion coming from the south of Nicaraguans.
When in all actuality, this is all fallout from our horrible foreign practice and our horrible CIA, which destabilized all of Central and South America.
Yes.
We did that with the Iran-Contra deal.
And
that's why they're coming here. We broke their government, so they need a bucket of ours.
And if you go to Chicago, you'll find an orca in the street, according to Mikey.
Yes, we're being overrun by destructive orcas coming over here, destroying our boats.
Or electric boats.
Electric boats.
Yes. Yeah. I wouldn't say that too loud. I wouldn't say that too loud.
I'll choose electrocution.
Too loud because Nigel Farage will be trying to draft the orcas to go after the small boats coming across the channel.
God, it'd be so cool if Trump was given the death penalty, wouldn't it? And then he's sitting there, and they're like, "What would you rather have?" And they've got a tank. They've got a tank with a shark in it, and they've got an electric chair, and they're like, "Come on, Donny, time to make the choice. Do you want the shark tank? Do you want the electric chair?" And he'll have to go, "Oh, I'll take the."
I'll tell you what. I get a bollocking every week.
And you put it in the shark tank.
I get a bollocking every week for getting us demonetised for using the C-bomb, right? And Graham has alienated the Swifties. He's gone Tory.
No, hold on. I had to edit.
Gaslighting, my friend.
I had to edit one of Wayne's jokes out of a show because I can't say the whole thing, obviously. But let's just say it involved a drone strike. I'm like, Wayne, we cannot say that.
Yes, we get demonetized, but no, I think we're going to be all right because Michael has dropped another super chat. So I guess we can say this stuff. Michael says in Austria we build houses ourselves. Buying a house is not a thing. We plan it ourselves and make it for a year or so and keep it for life. What do you guys think about that? If you think,
why are we not all living in Austria? What's going on?
Good question.
Well, because the Nazis are about to get back in. So.
Well, they'll need somebody to fight. Yeah. I'll fight Nazis. That's easy.
Yeah.
But look, in the essence of this particular podcast, I mean, were the Nazis that bad?
Oh my God, really? Tucker! Yeah. Tucker!
I'm afraid they were.
Are we the baddies?
Literally the worst. Mr. TSK27 is saying, "Remember your US visa, Graham." Yeah, I am going to go for the interview in 10 months' time, but I'm not going to get to America before the election, so I won't be there for it.
Or maybe you should go in a small boat.
No, I can't.
How you guys started
an orca.
It was just
the good thing is with this podcast, right?
Yeah.
You've now got evidence that if Trump wins, you can get an American visa and just show him this video.
Yeah,
when you get to the border, you say, "Look,
fan.
Total MAGA fan. Look, I'm totally on board."
Yeah.
We're making a movie.
Graham, I'm gonna get a hat sent to you.
An update of the 49th parallel, but it's not a Nazi trying to get into America from Canada. It's polar bears.
It's always polar bears.
I think I may have found the way to make this book work. Polar bears immigrating from the north, penguins from the south.
Yeah,
America under threat.
In Panama,
stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah.
What if the polar bear and the penguin try to hibernate, and then their ice flows meet each other because they float out to the equator?
Yeah,
that's kind of the basis of my idea. But I like the idea of invading America as immigrants,
or
threatening Chicago,
or stochastic terror. Like
so, a big you could, because you obviously have those huge chunks of ice that are in the sea at the moment that are going to take decades to probably melt. So
they're called icebergs, mate.
Yeah, but they're like twice the size of Greater London. Do you know what the small icebergs are called? The little ones. They're called growlers. Growlers.
Growlers.
Like a fart.
So I was up on deck of one of the cargo ships.
In the UK, growler is worse than a fart.
And the first mate's on deck. He's looking out of his binoculars. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm looking for growlers," and I just pissed myself laughing. And then he explained to me that
Mikey, growler in the UK is a slang term for the female area.
Why don't I'm getting so sick of always, you Americans don't speak English. You English don't speak
Nor do
English.
we.
Yeah.
So I think we're the authority here on English language and terminology.
Really?
We have like some sort of slanted Cockney rhyme way of talking that is just an extra level of strata above what is necessary. Like it's so unnecessarily complicated, but somehow you guys can communicate. I don't know how.
Yeah, but we do that just to keep a level of superiority over you guys.
You literally have a state called Arkansas, but it's pronounced Arkansas. Explain.
Try that.
None of those letters work.
Yeah, and aluminium is aluminium.
It's not English, it's native.
Yeah, but why couldn't the English spelling of it be...
Most of the Native Americans were insulting now.
Here we go.
The First Nations. That's why we went to all those countries to insult all of their First Nations people.
No, they can pronounce it any way they want, but you guys decided how to spell it.
Right, and that's the inconsistent part.
Yes.
Graham, can you do me a favour? If you look in the waiting room, you can see Alex Jones waiting to get in here.
Yeah, I'll let him in.
No.
I'll let him in.
Tell him to put his shirt on.
Gay frog.
And then we'll just shoot him. We'll just shoot him, and then we'll deny it. We'll say it never happened, and he was just a crisis actor.
Yeah, it's just a crisis actor.
Send in the drones. There was no drone. It was a crisis drone.
I've never seen white men lie themselves out of this much money. Like, it has been truly shocking. Having grown up here my entire life, I've never seen white people throw away money so frivolously. Like, yo, stop talking about your case. Stop talking about the attorney. Stop talking about the jury. $540 million later, I'm like, you are an idiot. Like, you are just dumb.
I think Graham's doing a sort of like a little tribute act right now with this show. You know, just burying himself constantly.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. I've been cancelled. I'm getting cancelled. I've got this plan to be cancelled.
That'll get us a lot more. Start saying that. That'll get us a lot more people
Oh my God.
That's good for the investors. Good job, Graham.
Buy my new best-selling book, Help, I've Been Cancelled.
Graham's going to get interviewed by Susanna Reid tomorrow as to how he got cancelled.
So Wayne,
I don't get on the mainstream media, Susanna. This is the problem.
What do you think of the idea of everyone building their own homes? Do you think that's a good idea? Would you be on board for that?
I'd be on board for that.
Buy a plot of land and you just build your own house on it. But won't people
technically
just buy
I have got a plot of land. It's only 1 metre wide.
Yeah,
but I've got a plot of land.
But my worry with this is there was a lot of British people. And money can't buy your taste, can it? There's a lot of British people that I think if they were allowed to build anything they wanted... Look, there's a show called Grand Designs.
Stone cladding wouldn't
Britain.
exist, would it?
Yeah, and every week on Grand Designs, a rich couple buy a plot of land and they can build their dream home on it. And their dream home is invariably an oversized shipping container with a glass curtain on one wall.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So that I worry. Andy's smashing the dislike button. Sorry, Andy.
I mean, the thing is, if we had the opportunity to actually buy a little bit of room, like if everyone had the opportunity to buy a little bit of room and build their own house, we could pretty much solve a lot of the issues that we have over here, housing wise, within a couple of years. But the problem is, it's all been like, how many golf courses are over here?
Oh, you know? Hundreds.
I think you should play golf through the houses.
It's not a bad shout. If I could live there, but I just think that housing has become such an overpriced commodity.
Yeah.
That for the majority of us, none of us can like. I don't own my own home. I'm rented. My landlord was round here today. I came. Shut up. Fucking American. I came home today. My landlord was here fixing my boiler. You know, but I'd like to just have my own property. But it's just
you have to call him over to fix it for you still.
Yeah. But at least my landlord actually comes around and does it. He's not like sending out some OIC from a firm like third party or anything like that.
But it might also reconnect the link between the value of the land, the value of the materials and labour for building the house, and the value of the house. Because at the moment, you got houses that were built by people who are long dead for, like, at the time, £200, and now they're worth over $1 million. And it's just like, what?
Yeah, it's a madness, and this is what I was livid with Jim today on the radio, because he was talking. He was basically exploiting my thesis about the right to buy and how I think the right to buy has destroyed the social cohesion in new towns such as Basildon and
Angela Rayner's talking about getting rid of it, even though she was a beneficiary of right to buy, and I'm with her on that. I don't care. People say, oh well, she shouldn't have done it. Well, you know, if you're in that situation, you're going to take the advantage of that situation, but it's still
take advantage of the system, but be critical of the system at the same time. That's absolutely fine. That's not being hypocritical. That's just being pragmatic. It's like, you know what? I'm trying to look after my family and secure my family's future. This is a system that's in place. Just to sort of like shirk away from it for the sake of principles is not really logical. So let me take advantage of it, but at the same time, let me look at it and go, no, this ain't right. This system is not right. Well, because they didn't replace anything. And if you look at the money that was taken from the social pot and not reinvested, that's the issue there. That's the issue. It's not the fact that people have bought their own homes. It's the fact that the money was not distributed correctly.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Brett Favre, we're looking at you.
Anyway, we're coming up to the midnight hour, so I think it might be time to say ta-ra. But before we do, are there any news stories of the week that we haven't covered that you'd like to mention before we pop off?
No, I'm
Darren's got one. Go, Darren, go.
Well, it was rather this. Did anybody see that wonderful tweet by Nadeem Zahawi as he's wandering around Mayfair, sees a bloke laying on the street? Did he go over with a blanket? God, did he go over and say, "Oh, are you all right, chap? Oh, I hope you're all right"? No, he decided to take a picture of him and then walk on by and then send a tweet to politically point score against the mayor of London's Labour mayor, and then not just
millionaire.
Yeah. And then not just that. Did he go on to Nick Ferrari's show to claim victimhood? Oh, it's the left that are having a go at me. The left. Oh,
it was scared of everything.
Pathetic. You know, it just the total irony of the man. You know, didn't think about who was in charge for the last 14 years.
It's nothing about it. It's not only that. That's the epitome of the hypocrisy of the right. That is virtue signaling. You're taking a picture of someone who is down and out, and you're having a go at the politicians that are in the opposing category, but you're using someone else's misfortune as an advantage for you. That's virtue signaling, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, look how great I am. Oh, fucking dickhead. You're exploiting a poor man on the floor.
Yeah. Has anyone else got a story that sort of really stuck at them today that we haven't mentioned, that we haven't covered?
I think the bit we missed about Space Karen Musk was that Trump has offered him a job as I can't remember exactly the title is.
I called you owe me a drink, Graham. I told you.
Money saving advisor or something. It's about
efficiency
cutting down
officer.
the amount of efficiency.
Has she really offered him a job?
And Musk, And Musk
Musk
has tweeted that to his millions of followers, saying, "I won't want a job title and I won't want any credit for doing this." You go, well, then shut the fuck up about it, right?
Whoa, I don't want to work.
But also, this is a billionaire who he hasn't got one business that isn't subsidized massively by tax breaks or government subsidies or support or NASA contracts, etc., etc. And this is a man that's going to save the government money. And I think the easiest way would be to stop giving it to billionaires to piss up.
How about we don't give you any more, Elon? How about that?
Exactly.
Save us a lot of money.
Yeah,
exactly. But no, you can see what he's pitching for with backing Trump and fucking up Twitter for us. Bless him.
Yeah.
For the housing thing, I will say one thing the Walls Harris campaign is talking about, Harris Walls, sorry, is getting some of these. The current scheme is that these hedge fund managers are borrowing millions of dollars, buying all the single family homes and townhouses that they can find, and then trying to being landlords, but they're kind of treating them like Airbnbs. So think of like an Airbnb that you have a lease on for a year. That's kind of where I'm at. So the new legislation that they're talking about and that Congress is going to try to push through is you can't own a certain amount of properties if you don't reside in that state. I think they want to cap it at 50 or something like that, which I mean shows you the root of the problem. But they're just going to sell it to themselves. You know, they're just going to transfer it to another entity that's also owned by them or that they have control over. But it's a start because it's really like we were talking before, like it's so disheartening that me and my wife make way more money than our parents ever did. And the chances of us buying a home where we are now is like almost none.
Yeah.
Because the houses went from being like, I'm talking about in 5 years, the houses went from being 220, 230 to 350 minimum.
Yeah.
In 5 years.
Everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's just, and then you go to look at who's selling the houses and it's all the same, like 2 companies. Like they bought all the houses, took whatever the average rent was, multiplied that by 30 years as if it was a mortgage, and that's their asking price on the house.
Yeah.
And the Airbnb problem is a real problem. I think it's in Brighton. We're announcing the Labour councillor, trying to introduce a licensing system for Airbnbs to try.
It's
and
just
prevent
not fair.
That's got to happen. That's got to happen.
I think that should happen.
But Mikey, you've just reminded me of a story about a Labour MP.
Oh yeah,
Jazz Atwell, who owns 15 properties. He's the biggest landlord in Parliament at the minute, and all his properties are suffering from mould, damp, and condensation.
And ants. Lots of ants.
Yeah, and he was saying, "Oh, I'm disgusted to find out this has just happened to my properties."
It's not me, it's the agent.
They're your bloody houses, you prick.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Don't blame the agency. They're your houses. You should check them from time to time. It is a disgusting way of making money.
Yeah,
and it's one of the things we said before the election. With so many Labour MPs being elected, we are going to start finding a bunch of rogue stories in here.
Yeah, of course.
And I think the party's got to clamp down on them real quick. We can't allow anything like this happen.
Yeah.
And the ward that he's in, it's Ilford South, which is a very poor borough, and it's a lot of properties where you've got flats above shops.
Oh.
No. It's a very Asian area, and it's basically like flats above shops, that kind of thing. And he won't allow anyone who's on any kind of benefits to rent his properties.
That's what they do.
It's a clash of interests and all that sort of stuff. What? Because you set policy? No, bruv. You was the head of the council a little while ago.
But at the same time, Wayne, like, why should people who are on, effectively, if you're on benefits and you're giving money to a private landlord, the taxpayer is paying your landlord's second mortgage or third mortgage. What?
Exactly.
What?
Basically, out of the treasury, don't it?
So this is why social housing is so important. Why councils should be allowed to be public landlords, but also private landlords at the same time, which they can't at the moment. There's so many different things that we could do to approach the housing problem. Michael dropped another super chat in. Thank you, Michael. In bad places in Austria.
Can we label this show tonight for Michael?
Yeah.
Michael Knight.
Michael Stewart, thank you very much.
Mike, the mics have it.
Yeah.
Yes.
In bad places in Austria where people are leaving, if you buy a place built in 5 years, you get the price repaid. And also Mr. TSK 27 was talking about a program that happened in Liverpool a while ago, in Kensington and Liverpool, and I think a few houses in Toxteth, that was sold for £1, but you had to stay in them, you had to renovate them, and you weren't allowed to sublet them, you weren't allowed to let them out to someone else, and you weren't allowed to sell them for X many years. And Michael wants to know if we want to know a secret about Elon. Yes, I absolutely do. And he's already posted what the secret is. So thanks very much for preempting that, Michael. Elon has a party with his mates, with rented women every year. He pays the worst. It's a one-time thing for the ladies because the pay is so bad. Wow.
Didn't an ex-Liverpool player buy an entire street in Liverpool for £1?
I don't think they bought it for £1. I think they might have bought an entire street. One of the problems we have in Anfield around the Liverpool stadium is Liverpool were going to extend the stadium, so they bought all the terraced houses around the stadium to make more space, and then they decided not to expand the stadium, and those houses around the stadium have been effectively boarded up now for years, probably nearly 20 years, I think.
I was going to say that explains, because the last time I went to Liverpool about 8-9 years ago, I just couldn't believe that all those terraces were still there. It just struck me as something that should have been developed ages ago, basically.
I think it is the biggest crime of capitalism in our modern ape brains that we can have more empty houses than homeless people and not figure it out yet.
That's shocking. I mean, we've got the issue over here with we've got hotels that used to be sort of like full of like tourists and stuff, but we're putting asylum seekers in there, and yet we've still got, I think it's 600,000 empty houses in this part of the country, in the southeast. But we're filling up hotels, and the taxpayer is paying the hoteliers the rate that they want to charge, because there's one quite near me, which
it's hotelographer, Wayne. Hotelographer.
don't start with me, all right?
And we also didn't they announce this week as well we're sending prisoners to Estonia? Is that Are we getting to the point where we can start to do satire about a Labour government? Because I'm looking at that going, if that was a Tory Home Secretary saying that, I'd be on them in seconds.
Can we not just send them to America?
Actually, it might work out cheaper to send some people to Estonia to sit in a jail than to put them in jail in this country.
It just becomes the business of crime, doesn't it, really? It's like,
you need a deterrent. Why don't you send them to Rwanda?
Because that's cost too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's like putting someone to death in America. It just costs too much. You got to have them on death row for 20 years. They got to pay for lawyers and court fees and all that kind of stuff.
Graham, it costs a lot of money to convict and murder innocent black people.
Yeah, I know. So they don't bother murdering them in most places in America. And it's not because of a moral objection to the death penalty. It's just the money. It's just the bottom line.
Just
put them to work.
The guy's like, hey, I'll save you guys $200,000. Just run the DNA again.
Yeah.
I'm not running the DNA again. It must be a trap.
We'll send them over to you, and they can make like Kevlar like jackets and things like that, and then create a war to use that Kevlar jacket to then make another Kevlar jacket.
We should get them making riot shields and Kevlar jackets for the police that they rioted against.
There's not enough Kevlar left. We have to use them for all the backpacks for the kids going back to school.
Yeah. Oh well, that brings us back to the beginning.
Well played.
That's not a joke. They are literally talking about bulletproof backpacks for kids. So they can put them up in front of themselves while they're at their desk, or it will protect their back while they're in the hallway during passing periods.
25 years since the Columbine tragedy, and everything's got worse. Don't forget, when Columbine happened, there was a ban at that time on assault weapons like the AR-15. That ban expired under George W. Bush's reign of error. And and now you can get a hold of these murder weapons, these objects that are made to kill people and nothing else. And
Not in Illinois.
There's no kind of... There's no one that I see standing up and saying, can we just stop... All right, can we just stop giving the paedophiles guns? How about we start with that? How about we say that if you are a paedophile, you can't have a gun?
Graham,
and then work back from there.
Graham, they started with the black and Mexican people. You act like America isn't already doing this. They want to restrict the guns from, everybody except themselves.
Yes.
So except for
wasn't it Reagan that
constantly drunk, constantly domestic violence, constantly child abuse, like those guys get to be cops, and then later on they get to be sheriffs, and then later on they get to be politicians. But everybody else who's following the rules, who doesn't do wild shit with their guns, who just wants to protect their family from said assholes. Because I never owned a weapon until Trump became president, because the American people changed. They're unpredictable and rabid. So I don't trust them. And if a rabid one comes near me, I need to be able to put the rabid beast down to protect my ilk.
Are we back on polar bears?
Yeah. And if the polar bears
and orcas. There's going to be a polar bear riding an orca. Come to get Mikey.
If those polar bears got that fucking glint in their eye, and I don't like it, guess what?
They're going down.
You're going blam, blam to blam town, son.
It's going to be chitty, chitty, bang, bang.
Chitty, chitty, bang, bang.
Why? Mary Poppins, I live and breathe.
Do you know what? That was probably a more authentic accent than Dick Van Dyke's.
Yeah, it was.
Sounded more English.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's crazy that line can't be taken of like, we need to stop pedophiles having guns. That's it. And then once you have that, you have to have a system where you're checking on who's buying the guns, because you need to check they're not a paedophile. And then that opens the doorway to registration, to proper registration on a Mikey's fucking computerized system that actually has the serial number of your gun, and you can make a law that says, when you buy bullets, it prints the number of your gun on the fucking bullet when you shoot it. And it'll make solving crimes so much easier. You can have smart guns where they only work with your fingerprint on it, and they can't shoot cops. There you go. There's the rule.
Why the hell would I want that gun?
Well, you wouldn't. Exactly. That's my point.
That gun sounds fucking whack.
Yeah.
Just because these motherfuckers
weren't
waving around MAGA flags doesn't mean that they're not cops for their 9 to 5s. These assholes are assholes no matter where they are.
The only person who can log into my phone is me, because I press my fingerprint against it and it
until I take your thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
I watched a video of somebody who took a fingerprint of some I think it might have been their daughter's, it's like when it comes to thumbprint, where the whatever dusted it off, and then bit of this and that and the other, and then
a little silicone,
a bit of silicone and this and that and the other, and then got into the phone.
There you go.
I can do one better than that. My neighbour who murdered his girlfriend used her dead thumbprint to open a phone and transfer money to his account.
Oh, this is taking a dark turn.
I think I read about that.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
I mean, it's not going to be the be all and end all. It's not going to stop suicides and things like that, is it? But I mean, it'll mean that if their dad buys them a gun, for instance, the kid won't be able to use it because it won't be fingerprinted to him. And if it is fingerprinted to him, that's a federal offence because it's under 18.
But what you're trying to legislate, right, is don't give your kid a frickin' gun of war, which should be obvious.
Or a gun.
Or a gun, yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I get, like, if you get your kid at 22 and you guys have a lot of space and you guys like to go out on the range and shoot, like, shooting is a sport. Like, I can get that.
No, it's not. It's only a sport because the weapons manufacturers who make trillions of dollars out of selling guns in America, not in other countries, because no one else buys as many guns, they want to keep their bottom line going. So they say, this is a sport. No one gave a shit about it before. Like, no one cares about shooting at the Olympics. When do you ever see at the Olympics? Oh my God,
They have
the
ski.
shooting's happening. First of all, the Americans are
have
shit
ski.
at shooting, which is weird.
Are you
No one watches
talking
it.
about the biathlon? The biathlon is the
Yeah.
most pointless fucking thing
Yeah,
in the
it's
world.
right.
There's
You wanna
skeet
shoot.
shooting.
So,
There's skeet shooting
so
with the
look,
shotgun.
a
Playing
little
pigeon
ski up.
shooting is something that only weird toffs do in this country. Paul, it's just it's not exciting. It's,
about
not exciting like the running. The running's exciting. 100 meters, that's fucking great. I love that.
Yeah, how many Olympic shooters do you know, and how many 100-meter sprinters do you know?
Great question. Shooting shouldn't be a sport. It's bullet.
What are you, a cop?
Are we now what we're suggesting is a new Olympic sport where you have to shoot the 100-meter runners?
Moving to
No.
Is that what you're suggesting?
So that's what Graham wants us to do.
That's what Graham wants.
Yeah.
That's not what...
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape, motherfucker. I never
listen
said
to what he
that.
says. Listen to what he says, guys, when he says that.
No, read between the lines.
Look on the bright side. From what I've heard, apparently, now I could be wrong, but I'm sure I heard in the next Olympic, cricket is going to be in the Olympics.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah, because
They
the
better-
Americans
they
are
better
doing
do
the
it now.
Olympics, so they're getting rid of breakdancing and they're having cricket instead.
Thank God, an opportunity for India to win some gold medals.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I'll be interested to see the Great Britain team. It'll be just full of Englishmen, won't it?
I just
tell
want
you
to
what,
say a big thank you again to Michael.
Michael,
Stewart,
thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
Lord
so
and
much.
Savior.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state? No way. There you go.
Yeah, that's a long one to talk about.
Yeah, but we really should wrap it up about there. And what Pains, what about the deer overpopulation? Do you know what I say to that, mate? Oh dear. Right. Thank you.
Fuck off.
Thanks to everyone in the chat tonight. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks, Michael, especially. And thanks to Mike Dix and Mikey. And also Wayne and Darren and to Cozy over in France, who I assume is fast asleep now. But if you're not, hello, Cozy, watching there.
Hello, Cozy. Good luck at the Paralympics.
Thank you to everyone for sticking with us. And like I say, really, really appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday morning at 9:30 with Morning Brew. And until then, there's another super chat. Just 1 second before we go to finish.
Michael.
It is Michael. Thank you
How'd
so
you know?
much, Michael. A well-regulated militia, where is that? Being necessary to keep the security of a free state is clear for keeping the King of England out. So that's what you need your guns for.
Oh, hang on a minute. There's a hill turn.
Kings.
There's a hill turn.
Shooting kings, not each other.
I'm looking forward to seeing Wayne's new car next week now then.
kind of makes Trump's little speech and then his little ear piercing incident make a lot more sense, huh?
Yeah.
We don't do kings over here.
We don't do kings.
We don't do kings over here.
Oh, really? Can we have this conversation in a year's time when Trump is your king?
You saw what happened when he talked about it.
Above the law, and he's never going to be. You're never going to have to vote again. It's okay.
Robert Kennedy Jr. is probably his vice president.
Yo, you already
Kennedy. Where have I heard that name before? That's it. Hereditary president.
You just said everybody got guns and everybody's a patriot and he's going to be a king of this. Okay. All right, Graham. I told you it's a long way until November, buddy.
This is
the
first election.
You gotta make
this is the first US election in 46 years that doesn't have a Kennedy, a Biden, or a Clinton on the ticket.
There you go.
That's just because we're old.
Talk to me about dynasties, political dynasties.
Yeah, well, at least the Kennedys know how to catch up with it.
Michael's thrown in another super chat. Come on, we're trying to wrap up here, Michael.
To save Michael money, we have to stop.
We do. Otherwise, Michael's going to be bankrupt.
Thank
you very
much.
Michael, I'll email you my PayPal details. Just send it straight through.
He needs a new car.
Michael says India cricket is second biggest league in the world. It's massive.
It really is. Yeah. The IPL is massive.
Yeah.
And if anybody hasn't seen it, have you seen the Freddie Flintoff show on the iPlayer?
No.
Freddie Flintoff's Field of Dreams. Go watch it. Both seasons. It is awesome. If you want to know what it's like to be a young man becoming an adult, and an adult opening up himself to mental health issues, go watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Does
it's
it have the
brilliant. It's
rules
Freddie
for-
Flintoff.
Does it have the rules for cricket in it?
It's kind of. It's got a little bit of cricket in. It feels like it should be about cricket, but it isn't.
Laws. We don't have rules in cricket. They are laws.
They're laws.
The laws in cricket.
The pretentiousness is just so much for me.
Get it right.
Oh, shut up. You've got baseball, mate. Shut the fuck up.
Baseball, it's great. It's like rounders, only more boring.
It's just like, it takes forever.
It's like cricket for people that can't obey laws, basically.
And also, after, I think it's, Mikey, you'll correct me on this. After seventh inning, you can't buy a beer.
Yeah, because we need you to get out of the stadium.
Yeah, but you're already drunk at that point. It makes no...
We need you to be able to sober up enough to get on public transit and get the hell out of the city.
You're already over the limit. Right, listen, really got to wrap it up there before Michael puts any more money in the Super Chat Fund. Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to everyone who's joined
Michael, one more quick.
And
talk about cricket, Michael.
Until next time, I'll say, give us a like on the way out. And hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.